I'm Tony Gillam, owner of Team Hard, and this is the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. We are live here from Brands Hatch for the first round of this illustrious championship. I'm Keith Barrick and I'll be calling all the action for you live throughout this season, and I'll be joined by my co-commentator Scott Woodwiss. How are you today, Scott?
Hi there, Keith. Hello, everybody. It's fantastic to be part of the commentary team for this series. It's probably, you'd have to agree, Keith, the most highly anticipated series that we have here at TPS, probably since the virtual V8 Supercars last year, purely because of who we've got associated with it and what's at stake as the overall prize. I'm stoked to be here. I know you are, as Keith, and I'm just excited to get things going here.
Oh, absolutely. And we've all gathered here for round one at Brands Hatch, but for anyone who's tuning in who is not familiar with what this is, the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, I'll give you a quick breakdown. Basically, GamePod.co.uk is a longtime sponsor of TouringProSeries. They had been in talks with Tom Onslow-Cole, and they got talking about sim racing and how it's a very valuable tool for anybody looking to get into motorsports of any form. And Tom had mentioned that he would love to be involved in running a series. And because of the affiliation with GamePod and Touring Pro Series and the level of professionalism that is brought to the table with TPS, GamePod facilitated this deal where now Touring Pro Series is affiliated with Tom Onslow-Cole, attaching his name to this series, and also Team Hard, Tony Gillam, all of those guys, they're now providing a ride in a real car at Brands Hatch, all expenses paid for a European, if you win the championship, along with a multitude of other prizes, as well as a gaming ring being donated by GamePod.co.uk. So this is one of the probably biggest prize pools in independent sim racing history, and all of the drivers that are taking part have kind of earned their spot here to race. So, but if you're looking for any more detailed history on this this gathering of the two kind of giants here, Team Hard and Touring Pro Series, you can go to our website at TouringProSeries.com, find out all the details, click on Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, and all of the information and news will be posted there. And you can look back at the history, get yourself acquainted with it. But we are here today. We are here to start this championship. We are at Brands Hatch for the first round of this series. And not only do we have 32 drivers here for the first race, we have another 32 in Division 2 that are also competing, but there's 64 people racing today under this Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Championship. So, I mean, Scott, we're going to see some fireworks here today. We've got a great calendar lined up. What do you expect to see throughout this championship?
I think we're going to see a lot of close racing, a lot of door-to-door action, as you'd normally expect. I mean, if anyone who's watched Clio racing in real life, the AirAsia Renault Clio Cup UK Championship, which of course Tom Onslow-Cole started, really much came up through the ranks up towards BTCC in exactly these kind of spec of Clios. The racing is always close, it's always competitive, there's always battles going on between the field, and there's always thrills and spills, and it's just a fantastic championship. And it's also a great way for touring car drivers to continue their kind of rise towards the big time and looking to get towards BTCC and further afield. And so I think we're going to see some top quality racing. As you said, pre-qualifying sourced at the best of the best in this sure. Division 1 of 32. And I'm just excited to get going. We've got some fantastic drivers, some very high quality teams. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do get one or two surprise results along the way. One or two drivers looking to make their mark who possibly we wouldn't normally expect to be up there, but just keen to make an impression.
And you know what? This is the stage to do it. Any of these younger guys that have been racing and have something to prove, they're racing against some of the sim racing world's best here, and guys that have always been just kind of hanging around in the top 5, top 10. Could really use a good result in any one of these events to really just stake a claim and say, look, I'm here and I'm here to make a mark. But speaking of pre-qualification, we ran a pre-qualification to decide the top 64 drivers of this championship. Now, what this does is because there was a lot more drivers that were prepared to race than there are slots available, what this meant is that we had to eliminate a certain number of people based on times that they could put in on the pre-qualification servers. So there was 64 drivers that are now competing currently. There are also people waiting should anyone drop out. But basically up front, as you can see on your screen there, we have the top 64 drivers and their times. And you'll notice something on the top side of the table. You've got a very heavy-sided team battle up front. The top 11 drivers are separated by Precision Motorsports and THR. Two extremely powerful, extremely talented racing teams that have they really wanted to, I think, set the tone. Don't you, Scott, with pre-qualification?
Oh, most definitely. Of course, THR are the reigning champions, of course, as is Toby Davies, who actually went ahead and set the top time in pre-qualification. But Precision are coming into this. It's their first ever Clio Series. Precision obviously have started to slowly exert their authority in touring car racing. If anyone knows Precision, of course, they're more suited to single-seaters, and they've obviously been extremely dominant in the past couple of years in the Formula Sim racing leagues. Now they're entering Touring Pro Series. They've already taken titles in series such as the American Touring Car Championship, and of course I forget the other series as well. The virtual minis as well. Now they're stepping into Clios. He's been taken over, as you said, by Jack Keithley, who I think he's probably one of the favourites for the championship early on, if we're going to start calling favourites. And he's managed to bring in a nice young, kind of very very quick off the bat team to try and challenge the rather large stable that THR brought to the table.
Well, and THR is very rooted in Touring Pro Series. they did start off a race department and built their empire here with Touring Pro Series, and have developed into a really solid team. And it's nice to see that outside teams are coming in to compete with. And I know Keith Lee taking over the Precision Motorsports touring car division has done a great job building it. But we're talking about the top of the table. There are some incredibly talented teams also. It's just this pre-qualification got a little out of hand. It was battles for thousandths of a second. But you've got incredible teams at a little further back, like Ice Cold Racing with John Monroe, Gary Lennon, Eric Tveit. You've got Core Racing, Optimum Racing, Surreal Illusions, and then you also have the independent administrator also of Touring Pro Series, Ryan Callan, running for Team GamePod. I know that Ash from GamePod is very pleased with the car that he's got out there, and we look forward to seeing it on the track. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how all of these guys fare as the season progresses. But just to carry on and finish off with the pre-qualification, because we won't be talking about it after this race, we're going to give you a look into the fastest lap that was set by Toby Davis, and it'll give you a little look into what these cars are capable of. So I will give you this video and be back with you in just a moment. So that there was the lap that Toby Davis had set to trump all other contenders, just beating out Simon Kilo by 7 thousandths of a second. So you just saw the fastest lap that was able to be set by some of the world's best sim drivers, and Toby Davis taking that top spot and taking that honor, and also earning him some little bit of leeway when it comes to the up and down promotion and demotion of server 1 to server 2. The top guys did also they earned specific spots, allowing them to remain in the top server even if they do have, say, a disconnection or they get a DNF, one of the other things. But enough about the pre-qualification. We are here. We are now live at Brands Hatch, and we're going to give you the first view live of these cars here from Brands Hatch as we are going to be going into the first round of this championship. There's 10 rounds this season. We're going to be covered over a couple of 4 months. It's going to be 5 months of racing this season. It's going to be up and down, and it's basically going to be a journey for the guys running and competing for this title, because this is an opportunity of a lifetime to go from racing in your living room or racing in your office or racing wherever you have your wheels set up and getting a chance to get behind the wheel of a real car. And if anyone who's into motorsports knows, it is extremely expensive to get out there and actually do this, and this is a great opportunity for someone who maybe doesn't have those benefits of being able to provide the funds or get the funds needed to get out there and show off some skills. So I mean, Scott, you got to think these guys have a lot kind of maybe self-pressure. They're thinking about, man, this is a good shot for me, you know.
Yeah, I remember when we spoke to some of the drivers on the media day. Of course, they want to do well, but I know some of the top drivers weren't particularly concerned the fact that it's they weren't feeling any pressure from the fact that it was such a huge prize at stake. I mean, the fact the only prize that I know is comparable in terms of the opportunity you get is probably, from a console point of view, is probably the GT Academy. In terms of anything for PC sim racing, this is anything that's been offered in terms of getting an actual a drive at the end of it, obviously as a reward for being the champion. I think some of these top drivers, I think the pressure will probably start to show a bit more come the end of the season when we start to see who the solid championship contenders are. But I think at the moment, as we're coming into the first couple of races here and then the first round here at Brands Hatch, It's going to be, obviously, these guys are just going to want to go out there. They're going to go ahead and judge the rest of the competition. They're going to want to go ahead and judge each other in terms of what their pace is like and what they're up against. I think, like I said, when they get a true, see exactly who's feeling the pressure once we get to the latter end of the season, and we start to see who definitely the championship contenders are going to be going towards that prize.
Absolutely. And you know, there's a lot of guys here that have the potential to do well this season. I mean, Kilo is a young and upcoming driver. I know that he races go-karts as well too. Very successful at that. Lasse Sorensen as well. Talberg and Keithley. We were actually, you and I were both discussing this before, that they are basically 1-2 in the Hall of Fame in Touring Pro Series. They have the two of the most decorated drivers ever in the history of Touring Pro Series, and actually decorated everywhere they race. I mean, Keithley's a champion in pretty well everything he races at. But, you know, you've got the guys like John Monroe, who's younger and still looking to prove himself and doing a lot of maturing in the time he's joined and raced at Touring Pro Series. Levesque champion, Toby Davis former champion. It's Adam Vaughn even back in 12th there, you can see he was the Clio Series champion in the first season. So, I mean, you've got a field littered with talent that basically we can expect anything to happen. And as we're watching Tom there, a very good point is what you saw there was if you drop a wheel in through McLaren, I was talking with Ryan Callan about this, it basically shoots your car right off the track. And we just saw that. Tom ended up off the track there. We're going to try to hop on board with someone for a hot lap if we can. Let's see Talberg as he's coming around. So Talberg will be starting as he comes through Clark Curve onto the start-finish line of the Brabham Straight. He's headed into turn 1 is called Paddock Hill Bend, and it's a very difficult corner. I'm sure people watching know this track because Brands Hatch is famed. But as you come up over the crest, it just feels like the car's getting a little light on you. And as you turn in, you want to get down as far as you can as he's a little wide, coming up onto the apron into Druids Bend. Hard braking and uphill. You want to be careful you don't get too deep. Very clean line for Talberg here. And you're going to come down and through turn 3, Graham Hill Bend, Cooper Straight, followed by that into McLaren, and then Clearways. This is the toughest part of the track, and this is coming back to dropping a wheel. At any point here, it basically sends the car wherever it feels like going. Gravity just becomes a second point there. But Talberg showing a very clean line, but still not showing the pace that we're familiar with seeing him, right, Scott?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, obviously, we were discussing, again, as we say, we were discussing the differences between Keithley and Talberg before we started the broadcast. And what was interesting to note is if you look on Touring Pro Series' Hall of Fame page, you look at the percentage of, you know, the difference in comparison between how many races Talberg's done compared to how many races Keithley's done. Keithley's got a much better percentage on almost all of the areas in which we score drivers in terms of the Hall of Fame, like pole positions, wins, championships. The fact that he's been so successful in a shorter amount of time than Talberg has. Of course, Talberg has 6 championships over the 13 championships that he's been able to take part in. Of course, and Keithley, of course, has only more recently come in. That's only thanks because of the fact that Precision's only just recently dipped their toe into the waters of his touring cars. So I think Talberg. He's a quick driver, but I think in terms of consistency, Keithley has the edge at the moment. But of course, you know, I think we're definitely going to see, as we said, a titanic scrap between Precision and THR. Precision, of course, you just saw on the screen there, already lining their cars up in this kind of practice/qualifying session here. So obviously these guys, they're a very closely knit team. They know what it is to succeed, of course, with their titles in FSR. And of course, you know, I think it's fair to say that the name Precision Motorsports isn't just there for show, because I think they go over everything in very fine detail, and that's why they're so successful.
Well, here's something to point out too, that Precision, they've been keeping their pace very quiet all week. Simon Kilo has gone a tenth and a half faster than anyone else has gone all week in practice, which blows everyone out of the water. And the fact that he's also trumping his teammate by over a tenth, Jack Keithley, shows that this guy's here to earn a chance. This guy is putting everything into this, because I know that he races karts, and you race karts because you love motorsports, and you would love a chance to get behind the wheel of a real car to show the skills that you have. So I know that this young man here, Simon Kilo, is driven for what could be a very big opportunity in his racing career. But I know that all of these guys, everybody's feeling it. Keithley, Talberg, Sorensen, Ely, Monroe, Davis, Levesque, Eric Strawn, Rasmus Salo, Ben Davis, A lot of these guys have real racing experience, and I know that you've interviewed these guys, and you were quite shocked at how much real racing experience a lot of these guys have that are racing here in Division 1.
Absolutely. What was great is that obviously because what we did beforehand is we managed to put together some competitor info sheets before, and we got quite a lot of them back. So obviously for those who did manage to return them and actually get them, obviously thank you very much for that. Because what was great is that we managed to get a really nice kind of overview of all the different kind of the diversity of the grid that we've got here in the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, and the fact that we've got our diversity of age ranges, our diversity of nationalities, of sim racing experience levels. Some drivers, as you said, have even done real life racing. Most have karted. I know Pipo Rodriguez, who's racing in this first server, I believe. He has even done karting against a future. It's been touted as a future F1 star, which is Antonio Felix da Costa, who's part of the Red Bull Young Driver program, and he's actually going to be racing in Formula 3.5. And also he'd be racing against another a TPS stalwart, of course, which is Stoffel Vandoorne. Of course, he's raced with TPS before, and he's going to be in the Formula Renault 3.5 series. But of course, that's then. This is now, and yeah, it's nice to see such a huge diversity of talent and age ranges and experience levels here, because it really means that it's a series for everyone, and that everyone's got a chance to do well.
Absolutely, and you know what? We're now headed into qualifying, which is a very tense time for anybody driving, because it is super pole, meaning that you get one opportunity to head out on track, and you get one hot lap, and it is very difficult to nail it, because you know what, you're putting pressure on yourself. You want to get up through the grid. You don't want to be too far back to start, but you don't want to push too hard and end up going off track. And actually, I'll just give you a quick breakdown of how this is going to be, how the race is actually going to take place here today. We're going to be going through, we'll be doing Super Pole qualifying for this first race. Then following the qualification will be a short warm-up, followed by a warm-up lap leading to a standing start for the actual race. And then we will do it all over again for a second round. So if you've enjoyed all of the action in the first race, make sure you don't disappear anywhere, because you're going to see the same thing happening one more time. But Eric Strawn is now lined up to take the very first qualifying lap of this Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, which we have so nicely touted as TOCS, which is just a nice way of shortening it down, seeing as it's such a long name. But Strawn looking clean into turn 1. He was the 9th quickest through practice. What is he going to have? He runs a little bit wide through turn 1 there. Coming up into turn 2, locking up just a little bit, a little too tight on the apex on entry, so it's going to push him a little wide. Not the ideal line, but let's see what he can pull off as he comes through turn 3. We'll hop on board with him and see just how he's feeling right now. We look through the windscreen with the Team Hard logo as Team Hard is preparing for the first round of the BTCC coming from Brands Hatch this weekend, and make sure you tune in for that if you are able to. So he comes around the final 2 corners here. Eric Strawn looking to set the pace, trying to set a time that's going to keep him possibly in the top 10 for a good start here. Eric Strawn coming across the line. His time is going to be 52.4. Okay, so not too bad for Strawn. Thalberg is already purple in Sector 1. Let's hop on board with him and see what kind of time he can do. He's already a 10th down, and as Toby Davis goes to a 52.1, Toby will not be pleased with that time, as he was running 51. What was he running in practice?
He was running 51s. The thing is that he got a little bit sideways through McLaren and coming through clearways. That's probably the reason why he lost time. But Jesper Thalberg has already slotted into second just now with a 52.284, relatively clean lap on that one. And also, Thomas Matsuski's jumped up to make it a 1-2-3 already for THR.
Oh, and
52.
look at this.
3.
And look at this. This is teamwork at its finest. You've got Lasse Sorensen on a hot lap, and he's getting a slipstream from, it looks to me like, I believe that's Keithley, or it could be Kilo. Oh, and they're just getting a little bit hectic out there. Who is that?
Oh dear. That was Davis.
I think
Davis.
I think he got out of the way in time, but Sorensen's getting a beautiful slipstream here from his teammate. As you can see, these yellow precision cars headed down through into the start-finish line. Is Sorensen going to take the lead? No, doesn't
but Keithley does.
Keithley does. Keithley goes to pole with a 51.9. Sorensen in a second, and now I believe, let's get on board with, where are we looking for? We're looking for Simon Kilo. Kilo is just leaving now.
Yeah, with the rest of the three Precision cars, well, that's quite cheeky. Adam Vaughan pops out just in front of Alexander Lauritsen, and we've got Sorensen and Vaughan, and also Simon Keeler are all popping out of the pits now. With Keeler, if you like, at the head of that bunch. The other two haven't caught up just yet.
Okay.
Other times that are coming in, Chris Butcher only 12, a 53.218.
Yeah,
Must be held up with some traffic.
Yep. And that's the point. I mean, it's difficult because if you wait too long, you might miss the session. We've talked about this in many broadcasts in the past. But if you get out too soon and you just don't set a decent enough time, you are going to struggle and get pushed way down the field. But right now, it looks like everyone's trying to go for that mid-session run right now as Tom Ely's scrubbing his tires in. We're just waiting to see if anybody's on a hot lap that we can catch because everyone's just taking their time. Luka Peklec is actually just a little bit off the pole time currently for Core Racing. He's a 1.156 off, which is not too bad. If he can get through the final two corners very cleanly, he could set himself up for possibly a top 5 starting spot, but there is still a lot of heavy guns to come.
We've got a couple of guys. I think Robert Wiesemuller has just started his lap time. He's currently down, obviously, 22nd in the standings. So Robert Wiesemuller in the THR green machine.
Peklec into 5th place for Luka.
Good stuff from Luka then. A couple of drivers who we're expecting to be up there. Eric DeVite hasn't set a lap time yet either.
He's always the one who leaves it near to the end, but Simon Kilo, the fastest guy in practice, the guy who was hiding his pace all week, is now looking purple in through the final sector. Is he going to do it? Is he going to take down his teammate, Jack Keithley?
He's going to try and get a tow from Wiesemuller down the pit straight, if he can, if he's close enough. But here comes Kilo then up towards the line. Will he take pole position from his teammate, Jack Keithley? The answer to that question is... no, he doesn't. 151.987, so he was about 0.04 of a second off. You can see there, but yeah, it's literally about 100th off, so that was pretty close. But it is at the moment a THR Precision 1-2-3. Alexander Lauritsen's gone to 8th with a 52.336. We're still waiting for the final Precision car of... we lost one.
We just missed it, but Tom Ely, I believe, went to P1. Or no, where did he go? He just went through P4 with a 52.124. Sorry, we just missed the end of his lap.
And we're also waiting for Ryan Callan. He's just re-entered the game. So Ryan Callan was a bit of a dark horse last year. Obviously, it would be interesting to see how he gets on. More laps coming through. Wiesemuller is only 19th, 53.426. He's got experience of racing with THR before against Precision, the likes of World Supertech Series, and of course the Virtual Minis. But that's quite surprising to see Wiesemuller off the pace. He's at the moment, if you like, not to respect him at all, but he's the slowest of the THR cars at the moment. And we've still got some of the, still got Levesque and Ben Davis to set their times. In fact, Ben Davis and Levesque, I believe, are currently on their hot laps now. Levesque's going to come through first. If you want to pick them up,
let's see if we can pick up
come through. So here he comes then into McLaren,
and he's
a little bit of smoke off those front tyres. He is.
And it seems there was a little bit of confusion because it was posted in the forum that it was super pull, and a couple guys might be taking extra laps, but that will be looked at after. I know that
here comes Levesque.
Levesque coming across the line in 11th.
That
is not going to be where he wants to be.
And Davis goes 6th. So Ben Davis has gone 6th, and it looks like he'll be sharing row 3 with his brother. Davis had. That's going to be interesting.
Brotherly love.
And they're separated just by 0.03 of a second, so that's going to be pretty interesting.
Let's get on board with the remaining drivers who have not set a lap time. I think we've got Richards is on track. Salo is now setting a lap time as he comes across into the final sector here to see where he's currently sitting. Give or take. Doesn't give a split time, so we were not quite sure. But it was 26 quickest in practice. Here he goes as he comes across, coming to see the start-finish line. Let's see where Rasmus Salo is going to slot in here for this event. 7th. Well
Excellent
done to Rasmus Salo. I
have to admit, Rasmus Salo, he was up there just about, or just inside the top 10 for pre-qualification, so that's pretty decent time from Rasmus Salo. Pretty good him, and I'm sure that Bradley Vanyan at Optimus can be very happy with that effort, most definitely. Scott Sovic and Lee Palmer, they look like they've got 2 laps on the board. Whether or not they've squandered their chances for their laps, we don't know. Drivers still to go for a lap of John Monroe. In fact, John Monroe is now coming onto the straight now to start his lap, as is Matt Richards. So unless these two are going to hold each other up, it'll be intriguing to see. We're going to go with John Monroe now, if we can possibly pop on board with him. The young 15-year-old Scotsman, as he goes into Paddock Hill Bend, uses all the apron, nice tidy run through there, a little bit of dust kicked up on the outside, and heading into Druids Bend now, tucking inside, holding the curb as he goes through the right-hander. They'll plunge downhill towards Graham Hill Bend. And how's he looking on the split, if I can have a look? And John Monroe, in fact, John Monroe's now heading a little bit behind. There we go. So he's about 2/10 down at the moment. So that time will put him roughly, I'd say, up at third or fourth. This is a good lap so far from John Monroe. Where's this going to place him on the grid? He looks like he's going to try and break a top 5. It's what he was hoping for, especially in the race. But here comes the ice cold racing driver then towards the line. Can he get any sort of tow from Matt Richards? We'll find out his time as well. Cross the line they go then. So Richards will go towards, where will he spot? We'll get him in a minute. Monroe goes 15th.
And
he
Richards,
lost a lot of time in that last sector.
Richards went into 21st. So, but still, you have to look at how competitively narrow it is in the gaps we're talking about here, because I believe, who do we still have? Tavaitis actually headed out on track. He's not actually going to get this lap in.
But also going to be interesting, also we've got Ryan Callan out there as well. He's going to have to get a hell post. He's got 40 seconds left in his qualifying stage. He's out there warming his tyres down towards Graham Hill Bend. He's had to exit and enter the server a couple of times. We'll see exactly where he can place himself.
Callan will actually get his lap in because he's already far enough down the track. But Eric Tveit, this is a common problem with Tveit, where he's leaving it so late, and I always am wondering why his head needs to be given a shake.
That's not going to help Ryan Callan. He's gone wide on the entry of McLaren through Clearways. Then, but he's going to go sweep towards the line. He's going to cut it very fine indeed towards the line. Well, 8 seconds left. Let's see if he gets across the line. I'm pretty sure he will.
Oh, he's so
extremely close. Across the line he goes. And literally 1 second left. And Tveit will not get a lap in. He's going to go across the line. That's it. He will start in the back of the field. That's a disaster for Eric Tveit.
Absolute disaster.
As Ryan Callan heads up towards... I forgot my corner there. Right, Druid, he locks up a little bit towards the right-hander. Twice smoking as he heads through there. What is his first sector time? We'll grab it on in just a minute.
He's half a tenth off, so he's actually not too far. He's looking to steal some attention here, is what it looks like. He's going out last, getting all the camera time, getting a full lap in.
And what's impressive is that this is a single car outfit. He's got no help from anyone else. So he's doing. If he can get this into the top 5 on a single car effort, this will be absolutely incredible. So here he comes in towards the line then. Half a tenth off towards this line. This is his chance to make it a name for himself and split the guys at front and THR position towards the line. He goes, where will he place himself? The answer to that is 9th. He goes behind the majority of the Precision and THR cars. He'll start on the 5th row alongside Core Racing's Luca Peklaj. But I think the man who lost out most of that one was looks to be Eric Tveit, although he did get a time in fact. He's gone with a 53.052. He goes to 25th. So the only man that didn't get a time in, only 2 drivers that didn't, were Scott Sowick and Lee Palmer. So how Tveit got a lap in, he must have either been allowed or not realised that the session was over, but still, that's a bit of surprising to be that far down. But what's not surprising is that Precision and THR have locked out the first 3 rows.
Yeah, I mean, that's very tight qualifying, but we now have a grid set up for the first race of the first round of the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. We will be back with you in just a moment. Hang tight.
I'm Tony Gillam, owner of Team Hard, and this is the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing, puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Go for too long.
And we are back. Thank you for hanging in there, guys. We now have a grid set for the first race of the first round of the TOC CS. And Scott is going to give you a rundown and let you know where everyone lines up for this first round.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Keith. So here we go. This is the grid then for the first race of round one of the 2013 TouringProSeries Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, and the honour of taking the first ever pole position goes to Jack Keithley of Precision with a 51.973. He will line up alongside his teammate Simon Keelov of also Precision, so it's a Precision lockout on the front row in their first ever Clio race here at TouringProSeries. 51.987 for Keelov. It's in a 1-2-3 lockout for Precision as Lasse Sorensen takes third. He's first of the guys in the 52s, 52.1, and then maybe might be surprised to some, Tom Ely is the first of the THR guys, 52.124 in fourth. Then we have its brotherly love, as it's a Davis third row with Toby and Ben on row 3. Row 4 is going to be Rasmus Salif Optimum. It's probably one of their best qualifying results ever, I would have thought, for them. And Jesper Tolborg, who is the most winningest driver in THR, sits 8th. And then Ryan Callan for GamePod in that single car effort, and Luca Peklash, the first of the core cars, up there in 10th, rounding out the top 10. Best of the rest in 11th is Heinz Petzold, and he will start on row 6 alongside the 4th precision car of Alexander Lauritsen.
And just one thing to point out, congratulations to Heinz Petzold for his marriage on the weekend. So,
absolutely. Absolutely, congratulations. He's now married his blushing bride-to-be, newlywed, and he's going to start again, starting alongside Alexander Lauritsen in the 4th precision car on row 6. Row 7 is going to be Thomas Matsuski of THR and Chris Hack of Core Racing. Then we move into row 8, which is William Levesque, who is a previous Clio champion. Alongside him, the very talented John Monroe down in 16th. Yep, just watching the time on that one. 17th is Darren Adams of Core Racing and Eric Strana on row 9. Row 10, whoever's supposed to be in 19th, we haven't got them on the screen because obviously exited the server somewhere, and Jimmy Hughes. Row 11 is Simon Shepherd and Matt Richards. Row 12 is Gary Lennon and Emil Solberg. On row 13, we have Eric Tveit. We're quite surprised to see him all the way down there. And Adam Vaughan for THR. Chris Butcher, another surprise down there, 27th place with his teammate Robert Weissenmuller alongside him on row 14. And we've still got a few more cars if we need to scroll down a bit more, because then we've got a 32 car grid. Not sure who else is down there.
We're now actually headed to the grid.
Absolutely.
Famous words of rFactor. We just missed the last two guys. That was my fault. I was hitting the wrong button. But
it's okay.
We've got 32 cars here to take the green flag. We're going to be doing a formation lap. It's really just a nice way of showcasing the cars as they drive around here in a very nice, very cordial fashion. But once the green flag drops, all of that goes out the windows. It is race on, and we will see some of the best racing that you can find anywhere in the sim racing world.
Absolutely.
So these guys will be lining up shortly here. As you can see, we'll get a nice shot of the grid. As you can see, all the cars lined up.
They're off already.
No, and they're off. Away they go. This is just to get the start of the race going here. As we are headed through. We are on board with Mr. Jack Keithley, looking back on the GamePod wing at the field as they come around, and they will be lining up for this start of this illustrious championship. I mean, Scott, I'm pins and needles. I don't know about you.
I'm literally sat here jumping up and down on the spot here because I'm absolutely so psyched for this. It's probably, as I said at the start of the broadcast, our most anticipated series, probably more anticipated than our virtual V8 Supercars last year. I know we've got plenty of people watching around the world in this one, so hello to everyone wherever you are. Thanks so much for tuning in. And of course, we have to say thanks, of course, initially to all of our supporters, of course, for Tom, and of course for Team Hard, and of course for our sport GamePod, all the kind of associated sponsors that go with each of those, and all the guys that help us, also people like Multi-BC and of course Inside Sim Racing, all those guys. To get into this stage here, we've got 32 of the best virtual touring car drivers. You are guaranteed to have an absolute treat of 2 races here tonight and for the rest of the season. So sit back, enjoy it, and yeah, as they come to the grid, I'm getting really pumped up. This is so exciting. This is going to be absolutely awesome.
pins and needles, but I know that Jack
Absolutely.
Keithley, now that he's taken over this Precision Touring Car Motorsports division, I can tell you he's going to be pleased to see all of this yellow. This shot right here is going to make him so proud.
He will.
But I will also just give a quick mention that we will be giving away a GT1 wheel stand at the end of this. I will announce how to win that at the end of this race. So we are just waiting here, just moments away from the start of this race. We're just waiting for the lights. As we're headed here, we just want to see some lights.
Here
As
we
the
go.
lights are going up, this is going to be the start of the championship, and the lights are going out. Green flag, and away they go. Jack Keithley leads them off into turn 1. As you can see, it's a sea of precision. Sorensen is up into second, Kilo third still, and you've got Ely challenging on the outside down into turn 1. He's not going to get there. He's got a lot of orange, but Tom Ely loses a spot to his teammate Davis. Davis is up into fourth. Davis is going to be looking to make moves very quickly here, as you see, looking down the inside. Who do we got there? Looks a little bit
Toby
dicey.
Davis.
It looks very dicey. Davis is in fourth, and everyone seems to have got through cleanly.
They have.
Everyone very cleanly. It's very nice to see everyone giving each other room, giving respect. This track does deserve it. But look at these guys as they drape around here. You've got Precision 1, 2, 3, THR 4, 5, 6.
And 7 as well. And looking back as we said, Rasmus are down to 8th, and made his contact. And that was Ryan Callan off the side. So Callan has already had his race hindered. He's down to almost 20th place. There's more contact going on as he rejoins near the middle of the pack. That's a disaster for Ryan Callan as they head across the line for the first time. We've got slipstreaming everywhere across as they go down towards the straight, but it's Cheatley who leads now with Sorensen right behind as they head through into Paddock Hill Bend. As you said, Precision 1, 2, 3. Then Toby leaves the cacophony of THR cars behind him as they head through. It's Davis with Ely 5th, then Ben Davis, his brother, in 6th. Tolborg's down in 7th. Luca Pecklage up to 8th, who's now just past William the Vec. Alexander Lauritsen rounding out the top 10 then. Apart from that little incident going through Surtees and McLaren, seems to be everyone's got through pretty clean. There's a bit of scrapping gun between Tveit and Matt and Adam Vaughan down towards Graham Hill Bend. Bit of bumping and barging as you'd expect in the Clios, but it looks to be so far everyone's down there. And the one that's really lost out in that first lap, Chris Butcher, is down to 31st.
Sideways through the second through clearways. That is Tolbert getting really sideways up through there. He's lost a lot of ground. Let's see. Now he's under the attack by Luca Peklic. He is down to the inside. Luca's got the run. There's no way you're stopping this. Luca Peklic down to the inside into turn 1. No! Is he going to do it? Luca holds the inside. Side by side. Tolbert holds the outside, using all the track he can. But now Luca looks like he's lost a little bit, and he's got Levesque up around the outside. Oh, this is tight. Levesque round the outside. Tolberg a little wide. Lucas still holding the inside. Levesque trying around the outside. He's got the inside into 3, and he's through. Levesque is through. Book it. He's up in 8.
And he has to be very careful. He didn't hit the back of Tolberg's car. Look at this. Now we've got behind side by side. Lauritsen now fancies to go at Peklic to go up towards Surtees and McLaren. And he's made the move already. Sticks. That's Lauritsen up into 9th place already. And Thomas Matsuski in another one of the THR cars, the THR blue team. As Petzl gets a bit sideways, and he's all checking up behind his Hacker. Monroe also had to avoid it as well. And looking back to where Callan is back in 18th, hasn't made too much of a progression up through the field. He's leading a train of cars, which is led by Robert Powell behind him as they head towards the start of lap number 4. And already look to see we've got some battles going on, as I think Lauritsen's under attack again from Peklic to go through into Paddock Hill Bend. But at the moment, it seems to be that Keithley just leading at the moment. And we've had a change for 3rd place. As we're watching that battle, Davis is up to 3rd ahead of Kilo. So Davis, the reigning champion, exerting his authority already. He's up there and he's hungry for this win. He wants to try and get it as quickly as he can. Look, he's got some good race pace. And his next target is going to be Lasse Sorensen. And what's going to be awesome is if he can get past him and go into combat with Keithley, we're going to see probably the 2 favourites for the championship go head-to-head already.
Oh, this looks good. And but look, as we say that, commentator's curse, Toby Davis goes a little wide. Go a little wide into Clark Curve, and now he's got Simon Kilo down the inside as Davis pinches him hard. He might be getting a little payback for that later. Gives him a little squeeze to the inside. That wall wasn't moving. So Kilo thinks better of it, lifts off and backs off. But Davis down through turn 1. They head down the Brothers. He's headed down through Paddock Hill Bend, up into Druids. Kilo is maybe looking to get him back a little bit, but look, he's all over the back of Sorensen now, and this is only 5 laps in. This is very tight, but this gives Keithley the free air he needs, and we've seen what Keithley can do when he has free track. He's it's very uncharacteristic to see him make a mistake when he has a lead. But Davis now is all over the back of Sorensen. Sorensen, a young up-and-coming driver here. Davis going to be looking to try to make a move fairly quick because he knows Keithley, when he has free track, he's hard to catch as he goes a little wide. But it seems to work for him because he gets a good run down the down through the start-finish line straight here, as he comes across on the nose of Kilo. He's got the slipstream down into turn 1, but he's not going to be close enough to have any type of challenge here. As we look back from Sorensen's car, Davis going really deep into there, sideways a little bit. He's just fighting off Kilo. But let's have a quick look back as we'll see how the rest of the field is shaping out here. As we do that, you can see the battle up there. Oh, and Kilo, because of a little nudge, sends him wide. Not quite going to do it though. He's got the inside. It's very tricky here, isn't it, Scott? Trying to make a move.
It is, but the one thing you have to remember, I've said this time and time again in all the broadcasts I've done, the harder these two fight each other, the easier it's going to be for the guys in front to make a break in front of the Kilov. Makes a tiny bit of contact on the right rear quarter of Davis's car. He's definitely giving one or two headaches. Davis goes wide again. Kilov up the inside. There's more contact, and Kilov gets through to make it a precision 1, 2, 3 once again. But this is now going to give the advantage back to Toby Davis. He will now be in the slipstream down the Jack Brabham straight. As behind, we've got now Levesque and Davis going side by side into combat as Ben Davis. In fact, Tolbo's going to watch on and capitalise on the mistake between these two, if there is one at all, down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, bit of contact. He lost looks like I think Levesque lost the door mirror, but Levesque is through into 6th place. Davis down to 7th. Tolbog watches on. And also, one we've got to look at as well, in fact, the man on the move I've seen in the background is, in fact, if I can have a look back at him, it is John Monroe up the inside.
Lawrenson! He's got
so close. He's got it.
Book it. John Monroe
top 10.
Through. Top 10 for John Monroe. Beautiful move on Alexander Lawrenson. Alex, I guess, had a good surge up at the start of the race and just maybe struggling a little bit with his tires, just getting him a little hot, so he needs to just ease back a little bit. But now we're following along with Rasmus Salo, who I believe was in contact with Callan early on. Callan back into 21st. That's what I've heard through the grapevine. But Rasmus Salo, who was looking so promising through qualifying, seems to be struggling just a little bit here, running back in 16th place.
Yeah, Callan's not having a good time of it. He was a bit oversteery through McLaren there, but as we come onto the straight once again, you see that Lauritson's got a fantastic toe once again on Monroe down towards Paddock Hill Bend, but there's smoke from somebody in front from locking up tyres, and well, there's hardly enough of that at all, because there's too many cars doing that. Pecklage a little bit wide. This could give the advantage to Monroe, going defensive down the inside. When you have a look, Lauritson's going to try and go the long way around towards Druids Hill Bend. And Pecklage has been forced wide. Monroe's now got the chances. Pecklage giving a bit of a nudge, saying, if you want to get this position, son, mate, you're going to have to go around the outside and do it the hard way. Monroe's going to try and get the switch back through Graham Hill Bend, down the straight towards it. Monroe's got the inside. Lauritz is trying to get involved as well. Side by side through 30, something towards McLaren, and look at that, Monroe's through.
He's done it! He's done it! 9th
place from John Monroe. Fantastic pass on there, and this means that Pecklage under attack from Lauritson, and also in the Heights Petzold as well in 12th place. So these guys absolutely fighting hammer and tongs at the front. But in front, look at this, battle for second. It's that Keelan up the inside of Sorensen. These two are battling side by side into Paddock Hill Bend. So looks like the precision guys are battling amongst each other, and also what's interesting is that not only is Keithy pulling away, but these two are pulling away also from Davis as they close up, actually, as I say that, under braking into Druids Hill Bend. Ely's also coming in for support. Levesque is also in there too, and Davis and Tolberg. So it looks as though the Precision and THR have the dominance at least of the top 10 as they head through down the back straight. But already we're only on lap 9. Already we've had so much action already, as Pecklage now has a massive train of cars behind him. They're all stacking up behind Pecklage. It's the I can't think of a euphemism.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah,
it looks like a conga line right now. Look at that.
It does, yeah.
Luca Pecklage has got under all sorts of pressure. But he actually made his move back by Monroe. Monroe's trying to get that 9th spot back, but Monroe having a great run in the top 10, but he's trying to squeeze back by, but he's obviously aware that Pecklage may be holding these guys up, because look at that. When you see a train like that, the leader or the 2 leaders is the reason that it's bunching up like that, because everyone's closing in, everyone's closing. This is when things can get a little hairy, but so far, very clean racing from what we've seen so far here at Brands Hatch for the TOCCS. John, oh, look at this. Pecklage defensive, Monroe trying around the outside. Lawrenson's trying to squeeze and steal one down the inside. Going to run him a little bit wide. No, Monroe's going to hold strong. Down into 3. Monroe on the back of Pecklage. Pecklage he's got to be sweating and looking in that mirror right now. He has got to feel that.
Oh, just looking ahead, Lasse Sorensen got very sideways through McLaren as they went through clearways there, managed to catch it just well. But now look at this, Davis in 4th place under pressure from his teammate Tom Ely.
No, we've got Pecklage gets a little nudge by John Monroe. Pecklage back to 12th, and we caught that. He just came in, Pecklage got a little loose, and now Pecklage is under
up.
He is under attack.
Behind him.
He is under attack. Chris Hack now, Gary Lennon, Benetsevsky, they're all on him. And it just seems to be like, it seems like a gang beating here.
Oh,
just
3 wide almost.
3 wide. Oh, jeez. But Luca Pecklage goes from 9th place back to 14th with 1 mistake. That's how close
still
Clio
going.
racing is.
Oh, contact!
Contact!
Lennon hits Hack.
Lennon gets into
Lennon
Hack.
tagged the back of Hack there. That was intriguing. He tried to put his nose up the inside. Lennon, obviously, is one of the elder statesmen of the ice cold racing team, trying to show his authority there by trying to shove Chris Hack out of the way.
Just a little bit of a touch. These cars aren't very heavy. They weigh no more than a matchbox.
But what's intriguing also, look at this, 4th place now. It looks like the THR cars are stacking up behind Toby Davis now, because Levesque now managed to sail up onto the back of both Ely and Davis. This is quite intriguing how this is going to play out between these three. Davis is now falling back, as is Tolborg. But look at this, Monroe is now trying to chase after them, and he's bringing Lauritsen and Petzold and this massive train of cars with him. So Tolborg here could be the catalyst here. He's the one that's dropping back from the leading pack. He's in 8th place. He's in a bit of no man's land at the moment, and now Monroe is bringing the rest of this pack with him.
Well, what's happened here is it's kind of status quo up front. The Precision guys have their pace, THR guys have their pace. This battle here is the one that is just raging, because John Monroe and Lauritsen are still very, very close, and they have been for the past few laps.
Yeah.
But
Peklaj just lost another place to Matsuski through Druids, and he's now obviously got.
Oh, who's that?
He's now got Darren Adams on the back.
Yeah, we've got Jimmy Hughes. That was Jimmy Hughes that was just off. But you've got it stacked up between 18th up to about 10th. Oh, we got contact up here again. It's Peklaj going through on Matejewski. Let's have a look at that and see what happened there.
He's taking Darren Adams with him on that one. Now he might get a bit of revenge on that one.
Oh no, you know what? There was no foul there, none whatsoever. Because basically what happened was Matejewski just got a little wide headed in here. This is all part of that getting on that grass there. So we'll get back to live action as we're riding along with Luka Peklaj. But Gary Lennon is on the back of Chris Hacker. They just had a little bit of an incident, but now the gap is opening up a bit. Monroe is pulling away from Lauritsen slightly, but the gap, that whole train has now spread out a little bit more now that you've got Peklaj out of the picture.
And speaking of spread out, the Precision cars now have got quite a bit of a gap to each other. Keithy last time around, they're going to cross the line here. Keithy's lead as they go across the line. What's it this time? He goes across now. Keilov goes through. The gap is roughly at 1.4, so it's stabilised at 1.4, and Sorensen himself is a further 1.4 back. But look at this three-way scrap between the THR guys. You're supposed to be helping each other out, not fighting amongst each other. But they're 4th, 5th and 6th. Ely thinking about going up the inside of Davis.
Yeah,
down a little bit wide down towards Druids. Has he made the move stick? Yes, he has. So he's made the move stick. So Ely up to 4th then. Davis won't like that too much, and he won't like the fact that Levesque is right on the back bumper of his THR Clio. These two are fighting with each other. Davis a little bit sideways, a little bit out of shape, but he's managed to hold it. And behind, Davis, and as I said, Davis is now in 7th place and pretty much on his own. But look at this, is what we said, look. Tolborg's dropping back, he's the catalyst, because look at that. Monroe is bringing all these cars behind him.
Oh, Davis
right
down
the
the
inside.
inside. Not quite. He just looked had a scary look there on up the inside of Ely. I think he just got a little out of control under braking and just tried to keep the car under him. But look at that. You can see this shot here, especially. The THR guys are close. Precision is pushed out a bit. I don't think you're going to see too much heavy battling between those guys. But right now, John Monroe is the man on the charge, closing in on Tolberg, like you said. But Lauritsen right there with him. He seems to have caught his second win, and he's ready to go again.
Absolutely, giving a lot of pressure as they head out of Paddock Hill, but up towards Druids once more. Lauritsen thinking about move on the outside. Tolborg's going to be watching in his mirrors here, but Monroe's going to go defensive. I'm just doing a little bit. Oh, look at the cutback. Lauritsen's trying to get on this one, but he wasn't too far alongside them on the exit of Druids towards Graham Hill Bend. So Monroe definitely is trying to close in on Tolborg. It looks like he might have one or two difficulties you can see here. And look at this. Look at the train that's following. You've got behind these two, you've got, of course, Petzold and Hack and Gary Lennon. Then another train which is headed by Darren Adams. And also in the back of the pack, you might be interested in some of the bigger drivers back here. Not having a very good first race here. Callan's down in 23rd, battling with Chris Butcher. Robert Wiesemuller is down in 25th place. So these guys, and also Matt Richards, who qualified pretty high in the qualifying standings as well. So these guys are really struggling in this initial race here. And Eric Tvite's only 27th. So these guys are not having the best of fortunes at the moment, but the guys who are having the most fortunes are definitely Precision. 1, 2, 3. All four of their cars which are racing this weekend, as if we believe that Geoffrey Wrightbell is not racing here in this first round. All the guys are in the top 10. As Monroe's now going up the inside of Tolborg into Druids. He's got the inside run. Tolborg will try and fight the defensive around the outside, a little bit of contact, and Lauritsen will try and go this time alongside him, but look at that. Monroe's made the move stick into
Monroe,
8th place. Fantastic pass.
He is on the charge. Let's have a look at how many spots he's made up. John Monroe's made up 8 spots in this race currently. 8 spots he has made up in this race. That is a fantastic run by John Monroe. 9 spots by William Levesque. So William Levesque is the biggest gainer here so far.
Speaking of Levesque, he's now up the inside of Toby Davis. Champion's going to lose another spot here down the pit straight towards Paddock Hill Bend once again, and he's up the inside. But Davis, look at that. I think maybe Levesque thought a bit too much of it there and drop back to let his effectively team leader and reigning champion of these Clios just to keep him in 5th place. I think maybe Davis is on the team speak there saying just steady on, Will, just let me hold this one, try and get as many points as I can. But look at this, it's intriguing.
Oh, look at this,
Talberg
look down the inside. No, he's defending. He knows he's in trouble right now, and Lauritsen is trying to make his move by. He's really trying to get by right now because he can tell that Talberg is struggling a bit. But right now, Lauritsen, and see, this is what's happened again. Now that Talberg is struggling, like Peklaj was a little while ago, leading this train. Look at how it's backed up now. It's backed up quite a bit because now you got 4 cars in behind Talberg, all just chomping at the bit to get by. And Monroe is just kind of steadily. As we say that, commentators curse Talberg down the inside to take 9th.
We're good at that commentator skill as well. We always seem to put it on drivers when they least expect it. But
yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you something else. You go back to the battle for the lead, because look at this. Keithley's been caught by Keeloff here.
Oh, he's passed
him. This is intriguing.
Kilo has gone
by.
Passed
him. He has passed him.
Well, let's see if we can see what happened here. Let's pull this back and see what happened to we're not going to quite get the replay like we wanted, but I'm sure something happened probably over at Clark Curve.
And also Levesque has got past Davis now. He's up into 5th place. I think he did it just on the exit of Paddock Hill towards Druids. So Davis is up. Davis is down to 6th. Levesque up to 5th, but Davis is still right on the tail of his THR teammate. And Levesque to go a little bit sideways.
Look at this for the lead.
He's holding the place.
Keithley going back by Kilo. Now I don't know if he's going to quite get it, but obviously there was no harm, no foul there. Otherwise, Kilo would be letting his team boss by. But right now, Kilo has earned that 1st place position with there's 12 laps remaining. So we'll keep an eye on that battle. But back here, the battle still goes with Levesque now getting by his teammate. He's now gained 10 positions after qualifying 15th. So well done to William Levesque. But big battle here is again John Monroe gaining 8 positions for this race so far. Lauritsen, Talberg has gotten back by him, by Monroe. We've missed that.
We've got a piece of bodywork laying just on the edge, on the exit of Druids there. Not sure whose it is. My theory, it could be possibly Ryan Callan's, because Callan's going around at the moment without a front bumper, so that's going to be hurting his front tyres, hurting front downforce, and probably one of the reasons why he's struggling at the moment.
And Talberg here, getting back up into the 8th position. He's got Monroe sliding sideways. Monroe might have pushed a little too hard to get ahead of these guys to get up to Talberg and get ahead of them. But you can see it's spread out a little bit more. This track does tend to spread out a little bit as you've got Lauritsen right on the back of Monroe, headed into turn 1. Monroe defending. He's got Lauritsen to the outside, trying to do a cutback into Druids. He's got a good run, beautiful run up the inside into Druids. Alexander Lauritsen for 9th. No, Monroe comes across. Goes a little bit wide now. He's cutting back, trying to go down into turn 3. Not going to do it. Precision Motorsport car looking very dicey right now with John Monroe.
Looking back to the front, I was noticing that the 2 precision cars at the front of Kilo and Keithley, they're still very in close proximity to each other. Keithley still has a little bit of an advantage. I saw that initially that Kilo was starting to pull away, but maybe Keithley's pace is starting to come back to him here as they come across the stripe to pretty much reach 2/3 of race distance in this first race of the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, the first race here of round 1 at Brands Hatch. And Kilo still holding the lead. He's got about 0.3 of a second gap to Keithley behind. They in turn have got a 1.2 second gap to Sorensen behind. So at the moment, Precision have the podium locked out, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Edie is pulling away from Levesque in 4th, who in turn has a slight gap to Davis behind in 5th, but he's still keeping close. We've got Ben Davis in 7th, and Talberg now pulling away from that scrap going on in 8th.
Oh, look at this back here, John Monroe!
The outside. Almost making it sticky. Going to try and go around the outside, but Monroe holds the position at the moment. So no, not quite for Lauritsen just yet. He's going to try and have another go at some point later on with that. Maybe as they go through Surtees and Clio's, because that's probably one of the places where these cars are going to get quite light, quite sideways. Maybe Lauritsen can pounce a little bit there. Someone's gone from the background. That's Matsuski, I think.
Yeah.
In the THR blue car, slightly wide there, but he's still in 15th. So,
well, this train here seems to have this train here seems to have bundled up a little bit with Eric Strawn. Peklaj again, Adam Vaughn now making his move up through the field. A nice 6-7 car train.
You might want to go back to the battle for 9th because Lauritsen's thick as possible. You've got to run up the inside of Monroe as they go across the pit lane. Pit straight down towards Paddock Hill Base once again. Lauritsen's going to dive down the inside. Yes, he does. But he's got a bit too deep. Monroe will try and go back up the inside.
Chris Hack going through the middle.
Up the middle.
Chris Hack through the middle.
Chris Hack, well, is he cheating? Because I know his middle name's Will, so Chris Will Hack. That's quite ironic that his name's like that. But
look at that. Beautiful.
He's in the top 10. He's done it.
Taking advantage of a bad situation there. Monroe and Lauritsen really pushing each other. Now Lauritsen the big loser there because Monroe now gets away from him, but Hack seems to have picked up some pace here in the last third of this race. Looking good for him, but Lauritsen's going to be a little upset that he's just he went for one and then loses another one.
I think possibly Chris Hack's had his cake and cookies, because if you see on his competitor info sheet, he does seem to tend to be that he goes fast after he's had some cake and cookies. So it definitely seems to be that he's powered by Maryland and Mr. Kipling, I'm pretty sure at the moment. He's trying to push his way back into the field, and he's trying to show it now. Look at this, he's on the back of John Monroe to the outside, down towards Paddock Hill. Will he try it out so fast? Is he brave enough? Yes, he is. Look at this,
deep
back around the outside of Monroe to Paddock Hill. As he makes the move stick. Does he do it? No, he's gone wide.
Oh, he's into the wall. Oh, he's
no.
taking the front clip off. He's into the wall. Chris Hack. Oh, what a terrible turn of events. Oh, and he's hit the wall. He just it looked so promising until the finish, but he's still going. He's got to finish. He's got to get these points. The front clip isn't going to make too big of a change to it unless he took some suspension damage. Hopefully he didn't get a puncture, but right now he dropped a few spots. He's back at the 13th.
And Petzold,
but look up front here.
Petzold
through on Lauritsen.
And Lennon as well. Lennon trying to go with him as well around the outside. But yeah, with Hack there, credit to him for trying an outside pass. But to quote Top Gear, that was ambitious but rubbish, I think.
Very ambitious.
It didn't quite work off for him. But
especially
again,
when the tires are where they are right now, too. You have to really respect the fact that you've pushed these front-wheel drive cars to the limit and that you've been pushing through those front tires all race long. But right now, Monroe leads this pack. And I mean, really, there's not much to really commentate on up front. It's pretty status quo right now because the gaps even between the Precision guys and the gaps even between the THR guys. I mean, it'll be interesting to speak with these guys should they finish out these results to find out, you know, what Precision's going to do to maintain this gap that they've seemed to have in pace, and what THR is going to do to combat it, because right now it's a two-team battle for this. But I love this racing that's going on. See nothing but clean battling, good attempts, and I mean just some great stuff here.
Absolutely. I think obviously the core, if you like, of the battle is between this battle for 8 onwards. You see Monroe starting to break away from the pack here. Petzold currently holds 10th, but he's under pressure now from both Lauritsen and also Gary Lennon in there. Look at Lauritsen really tucked under the rear bumper of Heinz Petzold here. The newlywed is under some massive pressure as here comes Lauritsen down the inside. Will he take 10th place? No, not quite. He wasn't far enough alongside as Lennon. And also Chris Hack, he may have taken that damage, but he hasn't slowed it down too much. He's still up there in 13th place as Lauritsen tries to get up the inside down towards Paddock. Jerusalem Ben, more contact, shoves him out of the way, says thank you very much.
Oh,
look at this, Lennon's gone with him.
Lennon's
going with him, yes he does.
Oh, and Heinz Petzold takes 2. Oh, you can't do that to a newly married man. Oh, Lennon's coming up on Lauritsen.
Look at
contact. And Chris Hack's now trying to get by Petzold. Lennon's trying to squeeze through. The Flying Scotsman, he's trying to make his way by Lauritsen here, but he just couldn't quite get close enough. Gary Lennon up through the final 2 corners here. Petzold,
he's stuck inside, he's got it.
Through. What a
brilliant
move!
pass.
Oh, what a move! So keen, just saw Lauritsen go deep, pushed through his front tires, grabbed the wheel, and said, "I'm going through."
I think you have to say it's of a new nickname, missed opportunistic, because that was a fantastic capitalisation on the fact that Lauritsen went wide into McLaren and then through clearways. Fantastic pass from Lennon there to take that 10th place, but he's gone wide side. Lauritsen's coming back and up the inside. They're almost side by side, almost touch doors. Lauritsen back up the inside, and he's done it. Into 10th, and Petzold might try and go with him, and also Chris Hack, but no, can't quite do it. Lauritsen back up to 10th. This battle is not over. We've still got another 5 laps to go. In fact, clear the one we're on. This battle is far from over. This is going right to the flag.
Oh, and look at this Petzold. Now Hack's got to run on Petzold. It's a great shot because you can really see how close these guys are running. And if you look, there's not much room between them. And you're talking some very hairy braking spots because the track narrows down so much. And we've already seen what happens when you drop one wheel, your car is off. And you know, when you're racing that close to people and there's a bit of tire smoke, it's very easy to miss. But I'm going to actually just quickly I know these guys are still battling here. Let's quickly go back down. We'll just get a rundown of the guys here. Darren Adams, Matizewski in 15th, Adam Vaughn in 16th, followed by Eric Strawn, very close in tow. Robert Powell in 18th. Jimmy Hughes in 19th. Chris Butcher, he won't be pleased with his performance, back in 20th. Luca Peklash, really struggling here. Just had a tough go this race. Back in 21st as he's got Ryan Callan looking up the inside. Luca goes defensive yet again, like we've seen so much this race, as Callan is forcing the issue here, it seems. And as we go back through, we've got the rest of the field here. Let's have a quick peek here at this battle here, because Callan is
Well, Lennon, I can see Lennon almost got his nose up the inside on the exit of Graham. He's trying it again. I think he's going to try and get the inside again. He's pushed, trying to shove him wide, bit of contact. And Lennon's going to try and get the traction off the corner. Onto the Jack Brabham straight. It's Larrickson and Lennon side by side. Fantastic one here. Look at this, Petzold. Chris Hack and Dennis may as well get the popcorn out and watch this battle to what's going on in front of them here. But Larrickson just holds on to 11th place for the moment. Meanwhile, John Monroe just sailed off in the distance saying, see you boys, you battle amongst yourselves. I am out of here. Oh, Larrickson's gone wide. Lennon and Chris...
Petzold down the inside.
Petzold.
Going for 3!
Oh,
Petzold's going to do it! He's pushing
done it,
right
yes,
through.
he's got 2, he's passed Larrickson. Look at, so Larrickson loses 2 places in a space of 1 corner, I can hardly speak. It's a fantastic battle.
Chris Hack's now trying to take advantage. These guys are probably having the time of their life. A lot of battling.
Goes wide in the background.
But Heinz Petzold is now made up for that mistake he made a little earlier, and now you got John Monroe just pulling away from these guys, but Lennon leading this crew here, and again, it's just been a non-stop battle, endlessly.
There we go. So onto the pit straight once again then, and Monroe's pulling away at the moment. The gap at the front is actually looking pretty close, in fact, because I'm looking at the gaps here, and the gap stripe. Oh, battle for the lead! Keelov and Keithley are side by side almost in towards Paddock Hill, in towards Graham Hill Bend. This is a fantastic battle that we've got going on. I'm not sure if you can see it on screen, but Keithley is got... Oh, I'm trying to get it now. Keithley all over the back of Keelov. This race is not over just yet. There's a battle for the lead. Keithley trying every which way to try and get past Keelov into Clearways into McLaren, and this has put them into the clutch to Sorensen because he's now trying to close in now. Keelov lost a bit of time. Keithley now is trying to pounce on this now. Keithley is now on the back of Keelov as they head onto the pit straight once again to start the penultimate lap here this first race, and onto the straight they go towards the first corner. Keithley trying to get this win here, the leader of course of the TH of Precision's touring car division. He's going to try and look to get the switch back through Paddock Hill Bend. Keelov goes a little bit wide, Sorensen goes even wider down through there. They're 1, 2 and 3 now. Was that possibly told to hold station, or is there still some fighting left in them? They're all together 1, 2, 3 now at the moment.
Well, you know that this is a big honor to take down the first win in this championship. It really sets the tone for what your intentions are with this. But look at Sorensen is all over the back of Keithley, and I mean I don't want to say that there isn't going to be team orders, but I mean Sorensen would want to take a second spot here. That's a big jump in points. He's all over the back of him, but Keithley knows how to get the job done. He knows how to close things down. However, at the present time, it looks like Kilo is not going to be touched by the team boss of Jack Keithley. But look at this precision dominance here for this race. It's a 1, 2, 3, and you know that these guys will be extremely pleased with their performance if they can hold this out and not have any incident. As Sorensen gets very close to his team boss Jack Keithley, headed down in through turn 1. Up into Druids. Sorensen looking down the inside.
No,
he
wasn't close enough.
He eased off. He wasn't close enough, and I don't think he's going to force the issue this early in the season and potentially ruin what could be a great relationship in Precision.
I'll tell you what's intriguing is that this battle's going on for 9th. They've all started to close in on John Monroe just a little bit more as they head on to the final lap. And Larrickson was a little bit sideways there.
Well, we got to
follow his inside.
We got to follow with this here as we're coming across to the final corner here for the first race here. As Sorensen looks down the inside, Keithley cuts across on him, and it looks like it's going to be Kilo taking the first race victory of the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series as he swerves around, crossing the line, taking the first win in this championship. You will be extremely pleased with this as you've got teammates. 1, 2, 3, precision. That is the way they wanted to finish it. But as we...
Battle for 9th. Monroe's got Lennon all over him. They're going to be side by side towards the line. Here they come. It's going to be Monroe and Lennon towards the line. Who's going to get the final 9th and 10th spot? Monroe's just got in front. Will they pull alongside? No, Monroe gets it. Monroe 9th, Lennon 10th, Petzold 11th. Hack gets 12th, just ahead of Larrickson.
With no front clip. Madazewski 15th, Eric Strawn in 16th, Adam Vaughn up to 17th, Jimmy Hughes finishing in the 18th spot, Ryan Callan getting up to 19th, but we'll be a little pleased that he made his way up through. Obviously, this is a long championship. But what we will be doing, Luca Peklach back in 20th, 21st, Rasmus Salo, 22nd, Chris Butcher, 23rd, Robert Wiesemuller, 24th, Lee Palmer, 25th, Eric Tveit, 26th, Simon Shepard, 27th, Matt Richards of the finishers, with a few people DNFing. So we are going to be headed into the next qualification, so please hold tight. When we get back, I will give you the information as to how to win yourself a GamePod GT1 wheel stand for nothing. Costs you nothing. So hang tight, we'll be right back.
I'm Tony Gillam, owner of Team Hard, and this is the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hello, everybody, and we are back live from Brands Hatch, and we are going to be starting qualifying for the second race of the first round of this illustrious championship. As I mentioned to you before, GamePod.co.uk, our biggest backer of our sim racing and offering prizes that are just unfathomable anywhere else. The stuff that they provide for us is incredible. They're also offering to one of the lucky viewers right now, if you would like to win a GamePod GT1 wheel stand, all you have to do is to enter to win the GamePod wheel stand. This will also be posted in the chat room and on our Facebook page. To qualify for this, you must like the GamePod Facebook page. This is one stipulation. That's all you have to do. So if you don't have a Facebook account, create one, like GamePod, that's it. What you need to do is answer this question. Which driver did GamePod sponsor in the first year of the SEAT Cooper Championship, SCC? You need to email your answer to TouringProSeries@gmail.com. All correct answers will then be put into a random draw, and the winner will be announced after the race. It's a bit of an Easter egg hunt. You need to find out which driver did GamePod sponsor in the first year of the SEAT Cooper Championship. So I'm going to be posting this onto Facebook, and what we'll do is I'm going to actually drop it over to Scott here, as we've now got we're now into qualifying. You can let me know who's on track, and I will get these things posted up as quickly as I can so that everyone has the information. They can find out the information a little better as well. But remember, to qualify, you must like the GamePod Facebook page.
Absolutely, and best luck to everyone who is looking to enter that. So, qualifying for the second race has now just begun, and we've got our first few cars out on track. I'll bring up my screen to see who exactly we've got.
Let me know who's the first guy we can get a time. I think Toby Davis is probably
I think
quickest.
Him and also Jesper Talborg. Also, they're one of the first ones out there setting lap times. So Davis, the reigning champion, who came, I think it was fifth in that race, for race one. He's out there already setting a time at the moment. So he's heading down towards Surtees then, and towards up towards the final couple of corners. Oh, a little bit out of shape through there as he caught the curb. It's what we were talking about just beginning the broadcast. These guys, if they catch the curb a bit too much, that can unsettle these things. They're very light on the rear end. And you can push them around with your little finger. That's how light they are on the rear end. But here comes Davis then towards the line. See exactly where he can qualify for race number 2. Over the line he goes provisional pole, 52.3. I've been feeling that's not going to be quick enough for pole position, as we've got Talborg following across the line, and he actually goes quicker, 52.143, quicker by 0.2 of a second, so that's impressive. Darren Adams is also on a hot lap as well. He's currently 9th in the standings, of course, without a time. Also, John Monroe and Gary Lennon are on times, as are Luca Peklaj, but Adams is going to be the first one across the line of that group, as Keith is also coming out of the pits to do a run. 52.8 for Darren Adams then, and Matt Richards pops in 52.5, so he goes to third place on the grid provisionally at the moment. Waiting for those two ice-cold cars to come through. Let's see where they are. Well, Peklaj will come across the line in a moment. Monroe and Lennon are already on the back straight. As here comes Peklaj, then where will he slot? He goes into fourth place, 52.682. And we're watching Lennon and Monroe come through, the two ice cold cars who had that fantastic duel towards the line to secure 9th and 10th place, with Robert Wiesenmuller just behind them there on track in tow. So let's see where they slot then. Monroe will come across first, and he puts himself into second quickest, 52.294. Lennon only does a 52.876, and Wiesenmuller 53.2. So Wiesenmuller really not on the pace at the moment. Robert Powell, I think, has just popped in where's he popped into? 52.7. So a lot of times already starting to come through. I think I just saw possibly, was that one of Keithy starting a lap? Yes, he did. So
all right, let's get on board. Let's get on board with Keithy because he did set the fastest time. Let's go. Let's see what he's got here. I'll let you call this lap here.
Okay, so here he comes down towards Druids. Then I'll have a quick look on the RRD view as well to see I can look at his sector times here as they head through. Keithy, they're heading out of the Druids and down towards the first split. He's down by 1/10.5. So that lap that was initially set then by Jesper Talbot looking pretty handy at the moment. But what can Keithy do to try and improve on this one? Of course, remember, the precision guys managed to get themselves into the 51s here. So whether or not Keithy can have a superb second sector, of which he has. He's managed to close up down to just 0.03 of a second as he heads into clearways and towards the end of this lap. So a good exit here, it looks like he's managed to do towards the line then. So where can Keithy place himself then? As Sorensen and Sorensen goes top, Lauritsen goes second. Where we're going to see across the line he goes.
Keithy goes to third. 1, 2, 3.
Once again, no one in the 51s just yet. Maybe Keilov might be able to break into that. Sorensen was close. He's gone to 52.030. So he's not too far away from that. Of course, but he's done his lap. Can't do any more.
Who do we have here? Let's see. That's still on track. We've got Eric Strawn. He's coming across. He's only a 10th off. It's not too bad, actually, at all.
Let's check him out then. Cross the line he goes, the Swede then. Big Swedish flag on top of his Clio there as he heads towards the line. Where can he slot himself in the pecking order? He goes into 8th. Not too bad from Eric Strawn there, the Swede. And we've got Ely and Levecka fighting each other out of pit road to try and get out first. And also, I can see we've got Heinz Petzold on a lap as well. He's currently going through Graham Hill Bend. So if you want to pick him up, possibly Keith, as you get through.
Let's get on. Petzold's right here, and then we're on board with him. Okay, good. We're going to see a bit of his lap here as he comes across. It's very difficult because the laps are so short here that the guys are by the time we catch on to them and realize that they're doing a lap, they're already halfway done, and then someone else is already halfway done a lap. So it's a little difficult, but we are missing the sounds here. I just realized. So there we are back. Now we're back in the car rather than just listening to us travel on. As Heinz Petzold crosses the line in 12th. So not too bad. He's right in the same company he was with the last time. So
absolutely.
Who else do we have on track now, Scott?
Well, Lee Palmer's just gone across in 16th, so he now goes across.
Okay, here's two guys that we can expect to see some good numbers from. We've got Tom Ely right now because Tom Ely was 4th in that first race, and he was actually fairly quick. He was probably the quickest of the THR guys overall over the length of the race. So Ely is just a little bit behind Levesque as Levesque comes across to start his lap. Let's see what he can do here with his lap in this second round of the second race of the first round of the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series.
Also, Simon Keilov, the winner of race 1, has just exited out of pit lane, so expect him to pop a lap time in soon. But of course, we are watching the two THR guys of Tom Weddy and William Levesque. And let's
look at that! 400ths of a second up already. Look at this. He's on the move. Levesque is looking to possibly put a damper on this precision potential dominance here because a 1, 2, 3 in race 1 with the pole and a pole in this race and a 1, 2, 3.
He's lost time in the second sector.
Oh, so he's a little squirrely there too. So he's going to lose a ton headed down the start-finish line straight as he comes across. It's all about momentum in these cars, and this track's very tricky because it seems like you're never actually going perfectly straight. You're always on a bit of a curve. And he comes across in second. Oh,
look at that!
My foot's in my mouth, and it tastes awful. So I'm just going to stop talking.
Yeah, should we just throw all our predictions out the window now? Because
I don't have any predictions. I got nothing. But we did miss Tom Ely. He came across in 9th. Rasmus Salo's now out on track. Who else do we still have on track? We got Keilov out on track.
Keilov just started his lap time now. So let's see what he can do.
Let's see Salo go across as he comes across. So Keilov is out. He's actually just behind him. So let's get on board with Keilov. We do have to see because Keilov was the race 1 winner. Oh, Rasmus Salo is up. He's up 0.13. On Lashley Sorensen. That would put him down into the 51s, and that would be
he's still up.
He's still purple. If he can get through the last 2 corners, all he's got to do is easy. Oh, it looks so clean. Rasmus Salo coming down this hill, down to the start-finish line straight away. Is he going to do it? Is he going to dethrone the precision drivers? To Rasmus Salo, the Cinderella story. Is he going to do the pole position?
51.
No, he doesn't.
No,
he's so
6,000.
Oh, what?
Here comes Keilov, though. Where's Keilov go through? And he goes 3rd, so he wasn't quite there. But look at that! What a front runner! Sorensen and Salo, Keilov and Levesque. That's incredible. I think Matsushi someone's just gone across and popped into a decent position as well. Still got 2.5 minutes left of the session. So we got Sovic is coming across the line.
Sovic crosses the line. 8th. What a lot for him. Actually, he DNF'd in the first race. We didn't really get to find out why. So that's fit. This is what makes this exciting is that when you get into the second race, people have figured a couple things out. People are feeling a little more antsy. You know, maybe the jitters are finally gone. Rasmus Salo, a WTM winner.
That's incredible.
I'm so pumped to see that, because you know what? It throws a little bit of a kink into this precision THR. And this is what we said. These guys have this stage now to really put it out there. And so we've seen Salo in the past in TPS show some incredible promise, and I really look forward to seeing him race here with these guys for this second race here.
It always makes me want to ask the question, is he related to Mika? Which I'm probably the answer to that is no, but the answer is no, but it'd be fantastic if he was. But Adam Vaughan then lost it a little bit sideways through clearways there onto the pit straight, so he's off by 0.3 of a second, so at this point he'll probably get through roughly around so just to exit the end of the top 10. Across the line he goes, and he goes full 15th.
Okay, 15th, so not too bad, but
not too bad.
I have to get to...
He'll be mid-pack, so...
We have, let's see where we got. Chris Butcher is now coming across to start his lap. So this is going to be one of the last few drivers that has not set a lap. We have Robert
Callan's just popped out behind him. Callan's
popped out. He's starting his out lap. So we've got Butcher, Tveit, again Tveit leaving it to the last minute.
And Ben Davis.
Wiesemuller must have had a problem because he qualified 25th with a 53.2, so he must have had a little off. And Butcher goes purple in Sector 1, but we've seen even Rasmus Salo was up 0.125 on Sorensen in Sector 1. So obviously Sorensen struggled a bit there, but can Butcher put it together? Coming through Sector 2? No, he's lost it.
He's lost more time.
Sorensen must have taken a cautious approach in Sector 1 to get the Sector 2 time, but I mean, Salo comes through with a steamer.
I'm guessing possibly he must have got a hell of a run through Graham Hill Bend to get that second sector time, because he must have really set himself up for that. Goes across and grabs 9th. That's better than what he managed in the first qualifying session, so that's going to be at least a progression, definitely progress for him. Davis and Tveit are on their laps. Ben Davis is just heading through Surtees and McLaren into clearways now, and I think everyone's now going to get a lap through this time, because look at that, qualifying the flag's going to go out now, so qualifying's now over. But these guys are on their lap, will finish it.
Okay, so Callan is now going to set his lap. He tried this again last time, trying to steal a bit of the spotlight. So he comes across, he's a 10th off, just under a 10th off.
Oh! Ben Davis goes pole!
What?
52.023, 7 thousandths quicker. That's incredible.
Wow.
Ben Davis.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that, or I would have followed him. Ben Davis with the surprise.
No one expected that.
Ben Davis with the surprise lap comes out, takes pole from Sorensen, who is then followed by Salo. This is a completely different race, even though we just finished the same as Callan crosses the line.
20th.
He's not going to be pleased. Maybe just a lack of a little concentration, but I mean, he's only 2/10 off of the pole time, 52.2. No, he's not 20th. Sorry. No, he's not 20th, is he? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's more than half a second.
Sorry, half a second. My apologies. But Ben Davis to take the pole. We are going to be back with the grid for you guys in just one moment. So please hold tight. I'm going to post that information on the chat box and also in the Facebook page to win the GT1. So everyone, please hold tight. We'll be right back.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing, puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game.
I'm Tony Gillam, owner of Team Hard, and this is the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series.
Hello everybody, we are back after a barn burner of a qualifying session. We saw some highs and some lows, and Scott here is going to give you a rundown and just a quick little overview of what happened.
Absolutely, and with a time that literally no one was predicting at all, not even us here in the commentary box, Ben Davis shocked the entire establishment with a 52.023 to take pole position by 7 thousandths of a second from Lasse Sorensen for Precision Motorsports. So THR claimed their first pole of the season. Rasmus Sala, another shock here, third place on the grid. He was second for quite a while until Davis took the pole away. He'll start alongside race 1 winner Simon Kielov. William the Vet gets up there in 5th place. A former champion, of course, for Clio, Alexander Lauritz in 6th. Jack Keithley, who finished 7th and took pole for race 1, of course, starts on 7th alongside Jesper Talborg in 8th. We're missing someone from P9, I can't see who that is, but Chris Butcher up to 10th, which is always quite nice. 11th is John Monroe, alongside him Toby Davis, of course, reigning champion, and finished 4th or 5th somewhere in race 1, sorry, slips of mine there slightly. Chris Hack is in 13th place on row 7, alongside him Thomas Matsuski for THR. On row 8, another THR man is Tom Ely, who was up there battling for top 5 with his teammate Toby Davis up there. He'll start on row 8 alongside Eric Strava for Ice Cold Racing, the Swede. Then we've got Eric Tveit, he gets a much better qualifying this time, 17th ahead of alongside Adam Vaughan for THR. Matt Richards for Aerostream alongside Ryan Callan for Team GamePod, and that's solo efforts. 21st, again we're missing 21st on the grid, so apologies for that, but whoever that is will start alongside Robert Powell. Heinz Petzold starts on row 12 and 23rd alongside Jimmy Hughes. Darren Adams and Gary Lennon start on row 13 together for Core and Ice Cold respectively. Emil Solberg is up in 27th place for Creek. Alongside him is Lee Palmer. Down in 29th, surprising enough, is Robert Weissenmuller, only with a 53.265. And Simon Shepherd looks as though he didn't get a time in, and he will start in 30th on the grid. We've got 2 more cars I think didn't even start the weekend, of course. One I think being Jeffrey Wrightveld, the 5th precision car. But still, with a top 10 grid, especially up near the top 10, we are expecting fireworks, Keith.
Well, of course. I mean, we saw some great battling middle of the field last time, and it was some good battling up front, but it was a little more status quo. I think there was a little bit of reservations because obviously first race you don't want to push too hard. But now the fact that you've got Davis up at the front of this, you've got Keithley back in 7th, you've got basically precision. It's like it's different drivers in between. You go non-precision, precision, non-precision, precision, non-precision, precision. It's a nice sandwich up front of different drivers, different teams, and I love it. I love seeing this
and also. Sorry to cut you off there. Also, what you've got to think about is also you've got 3 other guys who are pretty quick. You've got Scott Sovic in 9th in there as well. I think that was the guy that's missing in 9th. Chris Butcher's got better qualifying up there in 10th. John Monroe will start 11th. You saw he started 18th and made up 8 places very, very quickly to start the formation lap. So those guys who came through the field, and also guys like Tom Ely, who's had pretty decent race pace up there in the top 5. So the grid is fairly topsy-turvy, which is what we like, because it brings that one thing which motorsport always has, and that is unpredictability, and with this grid it will bring it in bucket loads, and that's exactly what we're hoping for in this second 31 lap race here at Brands Hatch.
Well, this is the man that we were surprised by, and you know what, I will not take Ben Davis for granted in the future, because he just showed us that, you know what, funny thing is, this is the funny thing about it, is I talked with Toby, and he said he felt that his brother Ben was going to be the dark horse of the guy who could win this thing, because he said he just has some secret pace all of a sudden. But it's good to see, because Ben has tend to have been under the shadow of his brother Toby in racing in Touring Pro Series, has had some good results. However, this here shows that he means business, and he is intending to win this championship. But we're just giving him a quick look around his car. Ben Davis also runs in the 250 Supercarts, and this is basically this is the second step in this journey of this championship, and these guys are living it right now, and you guys are watching it live, and you got to be sure that every 2 weeks you make it here to watch these races, because we will be also doing more giveaways. We're also going to be working with see if we can get Tom Onslow-Cole in the booth with us as well. But who knows, maybe we'll get Tony Gillam to join us to do maybe a live what was that dance he did there? Harlem Shake.
Harlem Shake, yeah. I
So-
think we should. I think we should ask him to put that on the broadcast if he allows us to do that, because that'd be
Yeah,
fantastic.
well,
'Cause that was
I think
so funny.
we're almost about to go live here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to be hopping on board. This is it, guys. This is the start of the second race of the first round of the championship as the lights go 3, 4, and they are going to go out here for the start of the second race, and it's green, green, green. Ben Davis getting away fairly cleanly as you look back from Ben Davis here in
Look at
behind.
the start from Levesque.
Levesque got a great start. He did the last race, but Ben Davis, status quo, great start for him, and he's got last day Sorensen all over the back of him, and he's got a little wide. Sorensen trying deep, trying to go early, trying to get by. Can't quite do it. Ben Davis goes so deep into Druids. He's gone way wide, and it's Sorensen taking the early lead by a mistake by Ben Davis.
And Sala is defending now from Keith. Keith is up 2 spots to 5th off the start. Levesque's dropped back to 6th. Off the start. It's not a good start for him after starting 3rd, and they're jostling for position. Everyone looks at that. They've got through pretty cleanly as they're done. Oh, that's someone on the back. That looks like Matsuski's off on the grass. And who you make contact with, I think it might have been. Who was that? That was a chance. He hits. It might have been Robert Powell, I think, as they lock up and all go through almost single file underneath the straight here. But look at this. Sorensen trying to pull away already, so it's going to be Sorensen across the line first, then Davis. It's going to be Keelov 3rd. Look at this. Keithley and Sola side by side, and Sola tries to get back from Keithley down towards into Paddock Hill Bend, and he gets it. So there goes Keithley into 4th. So the precision car's already on the move, and look at this. Sola's going to come back at him up the outside down towards Druids. And when he try and stick it out, look at this. Look at Talbot up the inside, taking advantage. Bit of contact, shoves him wide, and look at that. Sala's up there to 6th. Oh, contact with the Beck as well. How did he not take it off? That was good. Look at up the inside to Graham Hill. Great pass. Look at that overtaking. Oh, sideways there. I think that was Puffy Davis. Davis battling with Scott Sobick and John Monroe. He's had a great start. And look at this. He goes round the outside of Davis. Steady on, boys. Say lap 2. We're getting tons of action already.
Yeah, this is a really frantic stuff at the start, but these guys know the track position counts for everything at this point because this track is very hard to pass at Salo.
Look at Salo.
Salo is the biggest loser here for this start of this race. He's basically got, he seems like the odd man out here in this race, like even just with his colors too. He's surrounded by guys that are all teammates. And
Davis on the other side of Ely into Paddock Hill Bend, better bumping and barging, but he's through into 12th place. So Davis outside of the top 10, running champion, not having a good weekend so far.
Well, it's all kind of narrowed down a little bit, but look what you've got now. Again, this is the only car in between this precision train of Sorensen, Kilo, and Keithley. And Keithley had a bad qualifying and is already back up there. Is Ben Davis, the guy we weren't expecting. So he's going to have his work cut out for him to try to maintain that and possibly try to move up and challenge for this race win, because he's going to have pressure, yellow pressure from all angles throughout this race.
And it's amazing that the whole field is still all bunched up together. I think there's been a bit of a check-up near the back of the field. I saw Darren Adams getting a little bit out of shape, and these guys are still 2-3 wide right at the back of the field for the placing them amongst each other, as we've now got Sorensen still leading Davis under attack from Keelov.
Levesque.
Sala's lost another place.
Now Salo gets passed by Lauritsen as well. He's back to 8th
And
now.
look at Butcher. Butcher's up to 9th, and he's going to go 8th, I think, if he can get the inside.
Not going to do
Almost.
it. Not quite
no,
there.
not quite.
Butcher
Sala's gone a little bit wide. No, Sala's held on to 8th at the moment. Butcher having a much better race than in race 1. He was down, battling in like 22nd, 23rd with his teammate Weissmuller. This time, much better qualifying, and he's put him in much better stead at the moment. He's up in 9th, just ahead of John Monroe. So the top 10 just starting to gap themselves a bit now for the rest of the pack now.
As we watch the field stream by here, this is the entire field here as they come across. But back up front here, we got Rasmus Salo, and a little ways back there's some nice battling going here. This is Scott Sobick.
Yeah.
Scott Sobick is being hounded by Tom Ely, who had a
Chris
great
Hack
run.
as well.
Tom Ely was 4th place in the first race. He's having a bit of a struggle here. Chris Hack had a good run in the mid-pack there last race, and he's down the inside. Tom Ely by Sobick. Book it. He's through.
He's second place. Keelov hits Davis. He's up the inside again. He's again a massive shove into Druids. And I just saw it. They might have missed it on the broadcast, but Davis just about holding on. But Keelov trying to get a bit forceful there and shove Davis out of the way, get him a big biff in the rear.
Well, with this hold up here, we've got Keithley just a little bit behind here. He's close, and I think Keithley's being a little bit. Down the inside, Kilo. In through the final corner, he's
Great
through.
Pass.
Kilo through into 2nd. Ben Davis back to 3rd.
He's not finished. Look at this, Davis in the slipstream. Look at this, is bringing Keithley along as well. These three, look at this, right up against the pit wall. It's now with Keeloff, Davis and Keithley down towards turn one. Is James going to go try and go around the outside? No, he's not brave enough, but he will try and get the switch back through on the exit Paddock Hill Bend. Keeloff a little bit out of shape, and that's put Davis right to the back of him. Keeloff goes defensive down towards Druids Hill Bend. Look at this. And round the outside, when he goes, Keithley back up the inside, bit of contact, Davis, Keithley going to try and push him side by side, but look at this, Davis holding on for the moment then, so Davis has third, but the question is with Keithley pushing him like he is, for how much longer?
Oh, he's under a lot of pressure here. Look at this, Keithley is actually pushing him through here as they come through the left, and then they're going to go right, and he just got to avoid as much grass as he can. As he touches it, Keithley gets into the back of him, just slightly nudging him.
And Levesque's up the inside of Tollball for sixth. No, fifth, excuse me. So Levesque's up to fifth now. He's trying to press on now and catch up, possibly to give his teammate Davis some support here. As now look at this, the two precision cars in front are pulling away. This is now Keithley suffering here. He needs to make a move, and he's doing that into Paddock Hill Bend. Is he far up alongside? Yes, he is. Gives him hip and shoulder into Paddock Hill Bend, but he's done it. Third place. It's precision 1, 2, 3 again. Now it's Larrickson getting up there into fourth place, and it's job done for them. As Butcher's up the inside of Salo into Druids Hill Bend. Bit of hip and shoulder again. There's a wing mirror went off there from somewhere for one of those two guys, but Butcher's up to 8th. Salo goes wide. That'll put him into the clutches of John Monroe as they head through Graham Hill Bend. But look at that forceful pass from Butcher. There's overtaken going on already. We're only at 7, so we've got plenty of racing still left to go here.
And here's the thing is we've got these guys have all kind of bunched up again with the same guys that have raced in the first time around. You got Chris Hack in the middle there. I wonder where let's have a look where Luca is. John Monroe followed by Davis. Davis is having a tough run in this.
Monroe's going up the inside of Salo here on the exit of Clearway. He's got the run. The Salo dropping backwards from that third place, that qualifying spot that he got in third place. And there goes Monroe, then the young Scotsman. And into Paddock Hill Bend they go once more.
And John Monroe clear. Now, he's up in the 9th now.
He is. So look at that. So we've now got precision 1, 2, 3. Sorensen now with Keeloff just about on the back end.
Rasmus Solo into the back of Monroe. Sends him wide into Druids. Just gets into him. Monroe was defending hard, and Rasmus just really didn't want to move. It gets into the back of him, sends him sideways up into Druids. Luckily, no harm, no foul. No one loses any positions, but they're losing the guys in front of them. They're just losing the tail end of what looks to be Chris Butcher.
Absolutely, and it's like I've said before, many times before, the harder the guys fight each other, the more easy it's going to be for the cars around them to take advantage, for the cars in front to start pulling away, and for the cars behind to catch up and capitalise on any mistake the guys that they're battling will make. Sorensen got a little bit sideways through clearways, but he's managed to hold on to the lead for the moment.
Well, look what we've got here, a nice battle with Jimmy Hughes, Ryan Callan, Matt Richards, and Luca Peklaj. They're all fighting very tight with Callan leading this crew here. Jimmy Hughes flying the English flag. I'll be okay. But as he looks down the inside of Ryan Callan into Druids, he squeezes him. Callan closes the door. Jimmy Hughes eases off. Doesn't get into the back of him, but Callan now is out of position as Jimmy Hughes is trying to find a way by Callan, who seems to be struggling just a little bit here.
And Keeloff massively out of shape through clearways, but just about saved it. That's how you catch a slide in these front-wheel drive cars. You boot the throttle, and that brings the front end around again. So Keeloff getting very out of shape as he must have climbed to the curb through McLaren and clearways, but he's managed to get onto the back now once again to Sorensen. They're just about running in flying formation here. The gap, look at that. All three precision cars covered by just under a second. So that's incredible how they're managing that. And also, look at this. Davis is under attack from Levesque here. So Levesque wants that fourth place. He did have a fantastic race in race 1, up the inside of his teammate into Druid, and I think Davis pretty much let him have that. Although Davis might come back in if Levesque goes too wide, but no. Levesque holds on.
Levesque has got the pace right now. Levesque has got the pace to challenge these guys right now up the front here, because he's actually come through the field very quickly, and I think they realize that he is the guy that can possibly challenge the precision entourage right now.
Keeloff almost got a look up the inside of Sorensen into clearways. That was very close. In fact, look at this. As a result of backing out of that, that's backed him into Keithley. And I think now that Levesque's got fourth place, I wonder if he's going to try and start bring Davis and Tarborg along for the party here, because this could be quite intriguing. And also, look who's behind them as well. It's Alexander Larrickson as Butcher and Monroe go across in 8th and 9th. And into turn 1 there goes Sorensen, goes quite wide out of Paddock Hill Bend down towards Druids. Keeloff swarming all over the back of him here. So I think the precision cars are fighting amongst each other, and they don't want to do that too much, especially too early in this race. We're only about 10 laps gone on to lap 11. We're a third of the way through race 2. start getting too many inter-team squabbles so early in the race.
Well, I don't think you're going to see too much battling there. And again, we've got 3 Precision, 3 THR. But let's have a quick look through the field so we can get a look at what's happened elsewhere.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the front as you do that.
Yeah, we've got Butcher Monroe in 8th and 9th, Toby Davis in 10th, followed by Rasmus Salo in 11th, who's now being passed by Tom Ely as there's little contact in through the final 2 corners here. But Rasmus Salo's teammate Chris Hack is closing in, so there might be a little bit more battling. Scott Sovic is back in 14th, Strawn is in 15th, Ryan Callan in 16th, followed by Jimmy Hughes, Adam Vaughn, Luca Pecklage, Matt Richards, Darren Adams, and then Lee Palmer leading this train with Robert Powell and Robert Wiesenmuller, and Simon Shepard, Heinz Petzold, who he had a great run in the first one, but just struggling here with Emil Selberg in 27th, Matiszewski, Tveit, and Lennon all DNFs. But now back at the front of this field with Precision, these yellow cars, 31 laps in this race here, folks. We're already on the 12th. This is a yellow train that was unstoppable in the first race, as it looks like Sorensen's struggling a little bit with keeping that back end straight. Doesn't it look like that?
Yeah, I saw that a lap ago, just go through Druids there. Sorensen got a bit out of shape there, and Keelov almost got backed into Keithley. They almost made contact by hitting Keithley, almost hit the back of. There's against Keelov, might look up the inside of Sorensen, has a look, but Sorensen's just too far ahead to keep his lead. A little bit wide, but Keelov's looking pretty racy here. Is he going to go to the lead? Is there going to be a switch position? No, not quite.
No, not quite.
Keithley might get a look up here if they're not too careful.
Well, if you notice something, that with Sorensen leading here, it seems that he's holding their pace up. He ran a 52.8 last lap, and there's going to be discussion.
Look at the THR cars.
Yeah,
look at the THR cars behind.
There's going to be discussion amongst them, but Sorensen, I have a feeling, may not want to give up the position so early, because he's earned that spot there. But if they don't do something, and if one of them doesn't switch up with Sorensen, they could very well see the THR cars on them within the next lap or so.
Well, here comes Keelov. He's got a fantastic toe then down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Will he make the move to the inside? He's got the pace, I think. Is Sorensen going to leave the door open? He's going to have to, because Keelov's gone up the inside.
Clean move.
Keelov then
takes
the lead, and I'm pretty sure that might have been a team orchestrated move, because they might want Keelov to control the pace. And Keithley had to really stand on the anchors there not to hit the back of Sorensen. But look who's caught up in the process under braking.
William Levesque is right there.
And he's bringing Ben Davis and Talbot to be sent along for the ride. This could be pretty intriguing here. 3 Precision cars versus 3 THR machines. Now we're going to see a true battle between the two teams. Oh, and that was Chris Butcher. Butcher right off on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. He must have been fired off somewhere. Back to 13th. Let me look at a replay of that. Let me see.
Oh, we're not
battling with John Monroe.
Oh, here we go. So coming into turn 3.
Yeah.
He was just wide. He just went wide on entrance. That's all.
Touch the grass.
It's so easy to do that. It's so easy to get out of shape there, because you're trying to get as wide as you possibly can to get the best run through there. And he just pushed a little bit too far. But now with Kilo controlling the pace, they've dropped their speed. Their laps have dropped down a full 10th, even with the pass happening on the last lap. But Levesque is not letting these guys out of his sight. He's close enough that if he can get within the toe, he could be a challenger and put a kink in this 3-car train.
And I wonder who could also possibly be a spanner in the works, because look who's still tagging onto the back of the 3 THR card. It's the 4th machine of Alexander Larris, and so he's coming along as well. So possibly he could be a catalyst here. Could maybe try and help his fellow teammates.
Oh, sideways for Keithley. Ooh, he managed to save it, but look at the distance he dropped back a bit. Now that
and Levesque's closed up a little bit.
Just a little, but with that.
Just behind. Sorry, this is side by side with Monroe. Ely's going to watch this one. Davis on the inside, Monroe on the outside. And look at this. Look at almost door handle. How much room does Davis want here to go down towards Paddock Hill Bend? Little bit of contact, but he's made it through. So Davis is up to 8th, and this is intriguing, because I think Davis is now
he's gone wide.
Yeah,
gone wide, and he cuts back across to take the line for Druids. And who's that? You got John Monroe on the outside trying to go by, or Ely trying to make around the outside on Ely.
I think this is intriguing, because I wonder if Davis is now starting to pick his pace up a little bit, because he possibly, obviously these guys will be talking to each other over the team radios on TeamSpeak. He'll know that obviously the 3 THR cars are starting to stack up now behind the 3 Precision cars, and he'll be thinking, if I can just up my pace a little bit, that should be able to get me onto the back and try and give him the support, because I reckon that at the moment the THR cars are outnumbered. It's 4 THR precision cars against 3 THR machines. In fact, it could be 5 at the moment.
Look at this. Sorry to interrupt. Look at Ely. Ely was working with Davis. Davis came down the track to give Ely a bit of a draft, but seemed to have moved up. I think maybe doesn't want the challenge right now. Is Ely? Oh, squeeze it down the inside. Contact between Ely and Monroe. Sideways through turn 1. Ely carries on. So does Monroe.
And there goes Salo, and there goes Hack around the outside as well. That's really backed by this Ely defensive. Oh, contact with Salo.
Ely gets it. Ely gets into Salo too. Let's have a look at what happened here. So down the inside, Ely goes very deep, and he just catches the inside as he turns down. Turns down a little early, a bit of contact, so they both carry on. And now headed into Druids, he's trying to hold the inside on Salo, and Ely he's trying to pinch it down the inside. Contact between him and, I believe that's Chris Hack, and then he gets into Salo as well too. So Tom Ely having 3 little contacts. Oh, and look, who was that? That was, oh dear, that was Monroe that went off, I believe, or Rasmus Salo, who ended up getting the worst of that, catching that bump and not being able to recover. But back to the front here, William Levesque is right on the back of Keithley now. This is the battle here that could prove very interesting. Luka Peklach just taking a pit stop, obviously suffering some damage, as you can see Kilo running wide there. You just got to wonder, what's Levesque's strategy? What is he thinking? Like, is he thinking like, do I hold back, wait for them to burn their tires up maybe a little bit? Because it's very, very smart to conserve your tires to use them at the end of the race.
Well, Levesque might want to even get in amongst them and possibly try and disrupt the party here that's going with precision. If you like, Levesque will want to be the THR pit cat that goes amongst the precision pigeons, if you like, to use that analogy. But you see, Kilo was just about starting to edge away slightly. He's got about a 7/10 advantage to run across the line. Then we've got Keithley, who is a further 3/10 behind Sorensen, and then there's about a 6/10 gap. But you can see here, Levesque's he's made it a 4-car train, but Kilo initially starts to pull away, just pull a little bit of a gap here, but they start to close up as they go through McLaren and clearways and then onto the pit straight once again. So that's how they start to make their way back through. As Davis now is holding off Tolborg, who's pulled away from Larratz, and they were quite together there at one point. And Davis has also pulled away from that.
Oh, look at Levesque closes up big time through the final 2 corners.
He does.
It seems that his entry gets him there. But then his exit, he loses just a slight touch because he's going so deep into the corner.
And we missed it. They're going to switch for 5th. Talborg's up to 5th. He's passed Ben Davis. I wonder if Talborg's starting to get a turn of pace at the moment in this race right now, because he's now managed to take a spot from the pole position of this race. Ben Davis is down to 6th. He lost 5 spots in the process. So, Talborg a bit wide through there, through Paddock Hill Bend into Druids.
Yeah,
and he
Davis
might go back
looking
up the inside.
Davis backed by his teammate Talborg. This isn't going to help their run forward, but Ben Davis backed by Talborg.
No, but Talborg's held the outside line. He's going to get him back into Grave Hill Bend.
And he's got the inside. Davis is going to go a little wide. Oh no, Talborg runs wide. Now Davis down the inside. This is some hard battling between teammates here. Well, technically not teammates. They are just affiliated teams.
Yeah, they're all the 5 teams that they are. Of course, is THR red, THR green, and of course you've got yellow, purple, and obviously blue as well. But they're all under the THR stable. But they're entered as 5 separate 2-car teams. But they're all going to effectively work together at some points. But of course, it doesn't mean they have to always kind of respect each other out on track. It doesn't mean they always have to work together. And look who's joined into this 3-car battle now. It's Alexander Larratson trying to go round the outside into Paddock Hill Bend. Davis has to hold on and go defensive to try and protect Tolborg, but Larratson's feeling pretty racy at the moment. Davis just a little bit squirmy on the exit.
Lawrenson
was trying to go round the outside, and that was never going to work. There was never enough room to try and get round through there. But back to the front, and Levesque's not really making that much of an impression on the 3 precision cars. He's there or thereabouts, but he's not really closing in that much.
Well, while he's trying to make some room there, let's have a look at this battle here, because this is raging very hard. Chris Butcher with Chris Hack there. Chris Hack getting passed now by John Monroe. There was a contact earlier with Butcher early on there.
And just quickly, sorry, Larratson's just taken Ben Davis for 6th. So Larratson's up to 6th, Davis up to 7th, made the pass through clearways.
Well, it looked like he was getting close to do that. He's now sitting 6th, so it's there's 4 precision drivers in the top 6 right now. The hard battling though seems to be heavy battling seems to be right in this 9th to 10th spot. We saw this in race 1. It's happening again here in race 2, and we're seeing some familiar faces. John Monroe, Chris Hack, Tom Ely. Tom Ely was up further last race. As down the inside goes Chris Hack on John Monroe. He's going to do it. He's got the move. He's got the line. Can he squeeze him wide? John Monroe is
Monroe's staying
holding
there.
through 3. John Monroe inside a Hack.
Ooh.
This is side-by-side contact. Sends it wide. Chris Hack's up on the track.
And look at and also look at Strana fancies to go at this one as well, trying to help out his
Chris
teammate.
Hack loses it, tries to gain one and loses one. Chris Hack holding the inside. Strawn still on the outside. He can't quite hold it. Chris Hack pins him to the outside now. I think Strawn's going to have a better run on the exit of the final corner here, but it's all going to depend on who's drafting with who. Not going to happen. Strawn's going to slot back in.
And back at the front. Oh, but switch for second. Keithley up the inside of Sorensen, and he's taking it. So Keithley up to second place then. So this is almost a repeat of what we saw in race 1. Keilov leading, Keithley second. So there's been a switch for position. Now, whether that was actual in terms of overall pace or whether that was team orchestrated, we won't really truly know. We can probably ask it in the press conference, but I'm pretty sure Precision will be pretty protective over their team orders, if you like, if there are any. But the Vex, again, he's dropping back slightly, so really something major needs to happen between these 3 Precision cars for him to stand a chance of really closing up, because at the moment, on outright performance, it's just not happening for him. Tolborg's trying to pull away from Saracen and Davis, Lauritsen, sorry, and Davidson in 6th and 7th. Toby's trying to come up and support his brother in 8th place, and Indy's there. Now we've still got Monroe, and Monroe's gone to 10th. So Monroe's past Butcher now. Butcher has a fantastic toe on the pit straight down towards Paddock Hill Bend. It'll go to the outside. Strana and Hack will be able to pick up the pieces if there's any fireworks, but there probably might be, into turn 1, into Paddock Hill Bend, and no, Monroe holds on. So Monroe gets into the top 10. But look at this, Butcher and Strana going with him. Butcher will try again on the outside.
And 3 wide into Druids.
Druids.
That's not going to work.
They obviously come together, and then it's Strana around the outside. Strana goes round the outside.
What a move!
What a move! And now 11th. Fantastic
Butcher's
pass.
getting passed now too by Hack. Hack's trying to go by Butcher. Butcher's sideways. Oh, this is good stuff. And looking back from John Monroe, this is great stuff for him, because he can see Butcher dives on the inside. He's side-by-side contact. Butcher getting a little hasty. This isn't going to work. Strawn backs off a little bit, but Butcher goes back by Eric Strawn. And I mean, this is getting a little dicey between these guys here, and you know, your blood gets boiling a little bit, but you got to keep cool heads here, because calmer heads prevail. And Chris Hack is just watching this and going, wow, this is some tough stuff here. But it seems there's a bit of a gap all the way back, because if you look now, Hughes just crossing.
Sorry, we've got a bit of battle. Oh, contact between Lauritsen and Davis. I think Davis almost made it back through. Lauritsen tried to go back up the outside, got a little bit squirrely, and he turned in and just clouted the side of Davis's car. Not too much damage, but Davis is back through to 6th. And whilst that's been happening, Toby's coming up to help his brother Ben. Of course, he's in 8th, closing on those 2. As that was Monroe off on the grass on the exit of Graham Hill Bend, holds on to 10th. But now Butcher's now, of course, got Strana still all over the back of him as they head into McLaren. Oh, look at that Butcher contact! Oh, Butcher went absolutely gung-ho into that. He's made the move stick somehow, but what will the stewards think of that? Because that may have been an overly aggressive pass.
Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this from his perspective here. What's he seeing when he comes in? I think he just lost control, because he's on the grass. He's out of control. So he's just out of control. He caught too much curb. The car was full sideways, and he just had nowhere to go.
Oh, it's all happened again. Butcher had the run. Strana's up now to 10th place. Oh, there's more contact. Oh, Strana's up on the grass. He's always going to go wide. Butcher goes back in the inside, as does also Monroe. He's lost another 2 places. They all go wide. And Hack's going to try and get in there as well. Trying to back up the inside of Monroe. Not close enough. Hack gives Strana a shove on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. And they're all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a centipede for the Clios, if you like. 16-wheel Clio, if you like. It's fantastic as they go through. And Monroe's going to try and give it almost like he's going to hit the back of Butcher there as he head through clearways and onto the pit straight. But back up at the front, what's going on here at the front? Well, the 3 Precision cars are still dominating, although Sorensen's looking a bit impatient because he was all over the place a bit there. But this seems to be Sorensen's just holding on for the moment. But again, Lauritsen's battling with Davis here. This is for 6th place. And Lauritsen's giving Davis all sorts of headaches. Back up the inside, bit of a switch back. Lauritsen's going to have fun on the outside down towards Graham Hill Bend. Toby Davis is just watching on, trying to help his brother. And Lauritsen gives him another shove. But Davis holds on. Look at Toby right on the back of Lauritsen now. This is a fantastic opportunity. And Tom Onslow-Cole's going with him as well. So this could be pretty intriguing. 3 THR cars attacking the precision car of Lauritsen. This is pretty close and intense.
This is like...
As Davis up the inside.
What a move!
And he makes it stick. He does.
What a move!
7th place.
This is like watching the Discovery Channel, where one of the animals has fallen from the pack and it's being attacked by a herd of lions.
Yeah, you have to feel for Larrison, of course, the fact he's not up there to support his teammates. But at the moment, they're doing pretty well at the moment in first, second, and third, with Levesque in tow. Talborg's on his own in fifth, and now we've got this fantastic four-way scrap, of course, going on here, and of course the four-way scrap going behind them as well. As Davis now is under attack from Larrison. Look at Ely. Ely's trying to force out the inside through to Druid, gives Larrison the clout. But Larrison's going to hold his ground and say, "Not in your life, sunshine. You're going to have to take this from my cold, bare hands if you want this eighth place."
And this is continuing on here, this battle between these guys. And I know there's probably no love lost right now because look, as you can see, Strawn is missing a mirror, and they probably really like that mirror.
Toby tries to go up the inside of his brother Ben. They're going to go side by side in the exit of Clearways. And there's going to be no love lost here. It's brother on brother here. This is going to be pretty intriguing. Davis is now going to go side by side. Larrison's going to grab a toe from Toby, as is also Ely from Larrison. Davis goes to Toby goes to the inside, squeezes brother Ben out, and takes sixth place. That's a few more championship points.
Nope, and he's
Davis
coming back.
And he's through. Look at that!
What a beautiful move!
Switch back on Toby.
These brothers, no love lost between family here. I can tell you that much. They're racing hard here, and Ben is not willing to give it up. I mean, Ben did qualify pole, so he feels he's got the pace, and he's not willing to give it up. So let's see how these guys play out. But I know that
Munro's up the inside of Hack for 12, and he makes the move stick. That was a great run. He managed to get on the outside there, Chris Hack, through Druids, made the move stick. He's now made up one more position as they're still battling up front for sixth. I think Toby might have given Ben a bit of a hit there in the rear quarter. But this is now letting Larrison back in, and of course Ely. They're into the last couple of laps here. The leaders have started their penultimate lap. Kilo's running away with the lead, so he'll make it 2 out of 2 unless anything major happens, not to put a commentator's curse on it. Sorensen's under attack from Keithley. Levesque can't really do anything about it at the moment, right now. He's still holding station in 4. Talborg on his own in 5th. And these two separate 4-car duels going on for 6th and 10th are just absolutely intense as you like it. As Ely trying to go around the outside again of Larrison. Will he hold the line? Not quite. Larrison really shoves him out there, but he's going to hold his ground. And into Graham Hill Bend, will he have enough room? No, not quite. Larrison holds him off. So at the moment, Larrison holds 9th. Holds 8th, and Ely holds 9th at the moment. And Butcher still has the battle, heading the battle for 10th as the leaders come across to start the final lap. Yeah,
this is the start of the final lap. We've seen some good battling. But there's really only one word to describe what we've seen here today, and that is precision dominance. They've obviously figured out how this car works at this track. You know, even if they didn't take the second pole, that's fine. They were able to get in this position and pull away from their competition. The Kilo has been very, very consistent this race. They all have, actually. I mean, Kilo is going for a double win here. This is a double win to start the championship for this young and upcomer, and he's pulling away from his teammates. These guys. We've got Kilo coming across to take his second victory here. Keithley back to 3rd with Sorensen. So it's going to be precision. 1, 2, 3 coming across. Simon Kilo, a well-deserved second victory, earning it for doing everything he can to earn it. Simon Kilo getting 2 race wins here out of 2 starts. So well done. So a little further back.
I have to get back to this battle. Sorry, I have to interrupt. We've got a massive 4-way scrap for 6th. Who's going to get it? It's going to be either Ely, Larrison back up the inside. He's going to make a switch. The two Davis brothers form amongst each other through the whole lap, and they're going to lose out towards the line. It's a drag race. Who gets it? Ely just gets it.
Ely gets it.
Just about. Wow. That was an incredible finish. And it was the trouble was, I really didn't want to interrupt you because I wanted you to bring Kilo across, but the fact was Toby and Ben were battling amongst each other the whole lap. And then, as a result, just coming through, Toby got it a little bit wrong across the grass through McLaren and Clearways, and that just allowed. They almost went 4 wide through Clearways, and that just allowed Larrison and Ely up the inside. They capitalised on it, and Ely just got the better exit and held off Larrison. You saw that to the line. So it was Ely 6th, Larrison gets 7th, and they came across the line. The gap between the two of them was 12 thousandths of a second. It
was non-existent. So basically, we'll give you a rundown. Kilo taking the win. Precision 1, 2, 3. Sorensen 2nd. Keithley 3rd. Levesque in 4th. Talberg in 5th. Ely 6th. Lauritsen in 7th. Davis in 8th. We've got a number of this racing here. We've got Precision and THR basically having a head-to-head battle here. We saw it race 1. We saw it race 2. We need to see how these guys can come together for the second round of this championship. But headed back down, we got Lauritsen 7th, Toby Davis in 8th, Ben Davis, the brothers, in 9th, Chris Butcher in 10th, Eric Strawn in 11th, John Monroe in 12th, Chris Hack in 13th, Jimmy Hughes in 14th, Rasmus Salo in 15th, Darren Adams 16th, Robert Wiesemuller 17th, Adam Vaughn 18th, 19th Scott Sovic, 20th Simon Shepard. So we are going to take a break here. We're going to do some post-race interviews, and we do have a special guest joining us. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back to close out this first round of this illustrious championship. We'll be right back.
I'm Tony Gillam, owner of Team Hard, and this is the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing, puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
We are back here live, just finishing up the first round of the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. Eventful stuff, some incredible driving. We saw some great racing. There were 64 drivers competing here today, and we've seen some incredible stuff. And we ended up seeing one driver take a double win here today. And I will start off with him as we're joined by a number of the drivers here for post-race interviews. Simon, I haven't spoken with you in quite a while. I know it's been a bit between you and I, but you got to say congratulations, very well done. How do you feel like everything went for you today? Do you feel confident that you had a perfect day?
Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I did. Me and the guys, we made a good setup in the testing we did before the race, and yeah, it seems to work pretty good. and it was just almost perfect for me.
Well, I noticed that your race pace was very, very good, and it seemed that you had just a bit more than everybody on your team at the end of the race. Was that part of your tire management, or was it something you had maybe changed, or what would you attest that to?
Yeah, my strategy was to take it a bit easy in the first couple of laps and then just push in the end, because I knew I would have some trouble with the tire wear.
Well, you guys had some close battling. I didn't take notes as to what laps they were, but were there at times between the team were you guys discussing amongst each other like, okay, well, maybe give a little room, or was it just you guys are racing?
Yeah, in the start it was just like we should just get a gap to the other guys and then we could start battling when we got a gap.
Very, very good. I got to say, Simon, a very good way to start your championship. The only way it could have got any better is if you got 2 poles. But you know what? 2 wins, you can you can take this and smile about this till the next race. So congratulations, Simon.
Thank you.
Very well done. Scott, I think you got some words for Lasse Sorensen.
I do, in fact. Yes, I do. Lasse, of course, you had 2 pretty decent races, 2 pretty decent qualifying sessions. You managed 2, I think it was 3rd places in the first 3 races. A second and a third in the 2 races. Overall, to sum up your initial race weekend in the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, how did you find it out there?
I mean, we had a very good pace, yeah, and I think the team did a very good testing up to the first race here. So we get a good setup, and the strategy was just perfect.
Were you as quick as you expected to be, or was the pace that you were setting either more or less than you were expecting?
It was what I expect, because me and the rest of the team, we have tested a lot before the race, and we had a very good pace in the testing. So it was all what I expected.
And as we were talking about just there with Simon, there didn't seem to be too much playing going on between you guys. Was that a pre-race agreement that you guys weren't going to fight each other too much, or were you allowed to have 1 or 2 scraps between each other?
I mean, we were just going for the points, not just to fight each other. It's more important to get the points in the first race, and afterward then we can fight.
Excellent stuff. Well, congratulations on your results today, and hopefully you can carry on that momentum into round 2.
Fantastic. Well done, Lasse. It was incredible running today. I want to speak with Mr. Jack Keithley. Also for a couple reasons. Great results today, but also because of the fact that you've now taken on the Precision Motorsports touring car division. You guys set a pretty big message here, taking the podium both races with your drivers. It's a fantastic result. Now that you've done that, is there any strategy you're going to be kind of taking into effect for the next race to make sure that these guys don't come at you twice as hard and possibly really try to bring you guys down, because you guys have really set an example here of how this championship you want it to go?
Well, our strategy, all it is really just go as fast as you can go, but now we're probably going to have some sort of strategy after a couple of rounds when there is a clear potential winner maybe. But I just got to say about today though, all my drivers done a fantastic job, and I didn't get a win, and for once without getting a win I'm not, I'm still smiling. So I'm just very pleased with all my guys, all the work they put in, just really happy.
Well, there was one thing that was noticed. There was one thing noticed that you guys did not put your pace out there, and this was talked amongst the other drivers and stuff, that you guys had really done a really good job to hide your pace, so no one could really know where they were, and that obviously is part of your tactics, right? So no one really knows where exactly you are. Are you going to continue to do that throughout the season, or are we going to maybe throw some more tactics in there? What do you got planned, Jack?
Well, yeah, exactly. That is like I set all my guys and myself a rule where we don't test on the official server, and it's what I was doing the whole Supertech last year. I didn't test on server until race day, so it's a rule that we're going to have the rest of the season, and for everything else we decide to enter.
Well, fantastic, Jack. I'm really happy that you've taken on the touring car division, because it's great to see you guys putting in a full effort and picking up some great young talent. So I think Scott has some words for William Levesque.
I have. I'm with the THR driver right now. William, we'll gloss on your first race pretty quickly. I think it's nice to see your first race probably didn't go to plan. You had a qualifying session that probably did put you outside. I believe it was outside of the top 10 or thereabouts. So, I mean, what was the problem there? Was it purely just traffic, or was it the fact that you had a messed up lap there on Q1?
No, it was just a very bad lap for me. It was very close, and it is 3 tenths slower than what I did in race 2, and I ended up like 10 places deeper in the field. But I had a good start and was able to come back from it and to finish, what was it, 5th? So it was pretty pleased.
And then going into race 2, you managed to get a much better qualifying result starting in 5th place. And then you managed to get up, you lost a couple of places on the start, and then you managed to kind of get up there to 4th place behind the 3 precision cars. I mean, it seems to be you couldn't make too many inroads on their gap. Was it just purely the fact that you burnt up your tyres, or was it the fact that the precision cars, in terms of their overall pace, was just too strong for you?
I think the pace was pretty similar, but the problem is that I couldn't get the car to really what I wanted it to do for the whole race, and I ended up falling back at the end. So we have some work to do on the car for sure, but I think the worst track as far as tires go is pretty much gone now. So yeah, we'll see for the rest of the season. It's still early, so I mean, we can still get that.
Yeah, and just quickly, obviously, now that Brands Hatch is out of the way, 2 weeks' time we go to Verano. How do you rate your chances there?
It's a pretty technical track, so I've had good results at Verano in the past, so I think it should do pretty well.
Excellent stuff. Well, well done on your 4th place there, William. Keith, I believe you have another THR driver with you.
I do, yeah. I have one of the THR bosses, Toby Davis here. I believe he is here. Or where did he go? No,
he's
here.
Yeah, he is here.
Sorry, Tobes. Well, hey, Toby. So I know obviously the results weren't what you were looking for. I mean, it's a tough field to be racing in, but with what Precision has done here, what is the strategy for THR going forward, like yourself included and the team?
It's very simple. We need to qualify better, and we just didn't do that race 1. They were ahead of us. I was sort of got in amongst them a little bit, but messed up my tyres doing that, and dropped back and let Tom and Will through. They obviously have more pace than me. I figured they might be able to catch them. So we need to address the tyre wear issue, and we need to address our qualifying. At the end of the day, we were the second best team out there, but having been the dominant force in the Clios for the last few seasons, and obviously we want to retain the championships that we've had every season so far, and to do that we need to work, and we need to work hard together as a unit. And unfortunately we had some issues in qualifying which separated us out a little bit too much.
Well,
very difficult to get back to the front.
Well, I do see you guys coming back from this, because I know that with the track selection coming up, I think it's going to really play into your guys' driving style.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also going to play into the creating a little more action out there, because this is a very difficult track to pass at, for one. But you know what? The track is done. Everyone kind of got away unscarred pretty well, but you got to be pleased with some decent results. You can move forward and look towards the rest of the season. So well done today to you and your team. I think Scott has Tom Ely, if he's available.
I do indeed. Tom, if you are
don't believe he is here actually. I think he just stepped out for a smoke. So
right, okay. Instead,
Ben Davis, I believe.
Yes, I'll have a chat with Ben Davis now. Obviously, any guys who are watching that saw that magnificent pole position lap that you managed to get in. First of all, touch on that quickly for qualifying for race 2. Very simply, first question, one word: how? Because it looked as though that the pace of precision in qualifying was brilliant, and you just came up with an absolute stonker of a lap, Ben. Just talk us through how you managed that.
Well, I did a lot of practice for qualifying. I've been away working the last 3 days. I haven't been able to do any practice in the last 3 days, which hasn't helped at all. I obviously didn't do enough race runs to get used to the setup. We drove this track for the Team Hard scholarship, so I kind of knew it a little bit for a front wheel drive car, which kind of helped to begin with. But yeah, my race pace was obviously poor. And then yeah, I think I might just change my name to Mark Webber. But there you go.
Obviously, you managed to hold on to the lead, at least the front for the initially. But obviously, did it just appear that the precision cars were just too strong to keep up with their pace?
Yeah, for sure. I hadn't done my homework as well as they had. Their race pace was very strong indeed, and I think it was clear that those three were going to disappear often. They came past me harsh but fair, I think, is the best way of describing it. And then all I could really do is try and hang on and let my teammates through.
And just very quickly before we move on, we didn't quite catch it at the end, but the last lap antics where you're battling with Toby. I mean, how was that for you? Because effectively it cost you 6th and 7th. So, I mean, just talk us through that situation and what went on there.
Well, I was trying to hold. I can't remember who it was. Was it Lauritsen behind me? I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe it was Lauritsen.
Yeah, I was trying to defend like mad to try and hold him up to try and get Toby past, and then Tom passed. So that's what I did, and Toby eventually got past. And then I assumed because I'd done that, I might get a bit of help in return by him not attacking me, and clearly that's not the case. So I mean, obviously I'm not a particularly quick driver in the Touring Pro Series. I don't do a lot of racing. I don't have the time to, but I'm a little bit annoyed that it seems that that's the reason why I'm not really a part of a team. That's what it feels like at the moment. But I'm probably just saying that because it's after the race. We'll certainly address it for the next race anyway. Well, I'll be back in the next race for sure.
Well, fingers crossed it doesn't cause too much of a rift in the team. Fingers crossed. But yeah, but best well done on the results you have got today. And Keith, I believe you have some more drivers, if possible.
Well, actually, I think we're all done with the interviews here. I did just want to announce that I want to thank everyone first off for joining us for the interviews. It's great to talk to you all, and it's going to be a great season. I'm really looking forward to seeing the next 9 rounds after this. This was seat of your pants, hanging on the edge of your seat kind of racing today. And you know what? This isn't one of the most exciting tracks for that type of racing. So I can't wait till we get to a little further down on the calendar when we see some really good quality, overtaking and some just quality racing. So thank you all drivers for joining us. But I also do want to make an announcement. The GT1 wheel stand that we are giving away, compliments of GamePod.co.uk, massive sponsor for us. We can't thank them enough for everything they do. We will be giving this GamePod away, the GT1 wheel stand away after this event. I'm just announcing now. We will post the announcement of who won. We did the email submissions for a trivia contest, and we will do a random number based on how many people have got the answer correct. So the answer will be then, once we've determined how many people there are, we will do a random number draw, and it will be announced on our Facebook page, Twitter, our TouringProSeries.com, and also on our forums as well. So keep an eye out for that, and good luck to everyone who entered. And thank you for entering as well. But please remember that to qualify to win, you must have liked the GamePod Facebook page. So that is a prerequisite for you to receive the prize. But we do have a special guest, basically the man of the hour, the man who has made this all possible. Tom Onslow-Cole is joined us here in the booth post-race after doing a lot of prep work for his race, his actual real race coming up this weekend at Brands Hatch. How are you doing today, Tom?
Really good, thank you. Thank you for having me in the booth.
It's honestly, it is an honor to talk with you. I haven't actually really had much correspondence myself with you because it's the time difference for one is a big deal, but it is a true honor to speak with you, and I'm really happy that we've been able to build Touring Pro Series up to what we have and be able to now affiliate it with such a progressive driver like yourself, and also a progressive team in Tony Gillam and Team Hard, because you guys do have a really good vision, and the future. I guess the sky is the limit with this kind of partnership.
Oh, definitely. And from our side of things, it's fantastic to be involved. And, for me, this has been a massive learning curve, to be honest. The sim racing world was something that I knew about, but have never been sort of immersed this deep inside. So this has been really interesting. And listening to the interviews there after the race, I mean, the emotion is so high, and it's kind of so close to what I do. I can really relate to the guys driving out there. So I'm absolutely blown away by it.
Well, and Tom, the big thing is like we've built this all up. We know what we're doing. We will hold your hand and we will show you the whole sim racing world. Don't worry, Tom. We'll get you right immersed in it. But
absolutely.
I know all of these guys that are in here in this booth, they're all excited to have the ability to race, with something that's attached to your name, because, we're all excited to see how you do this season, and we're all excited to see how Team Hard does as well. And honestly, we can't thank you enough for giving the opportunity for not just us to host this, but also to allow the drivers to have an opportunity to maybe, who don't have the resources needed to get to a track, to go and drive a car, because I'm sure you know what it takes to get there. You've done it. You've been through it. I've done it on a lesser scale, and I know how difficult it is to get those opportunities. So we can't thank you enough.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. As I said, I really enjoyed being part of it so far, and we're only just at the beginning. And wow, the racing looks really impressive already. It looks like it's going to be a very, very close season. It's interesting to see two teams have kind of established themselves there as the front runners. It'd be quite interesting to find out, what they're doing and how they're sort of established themselves there. But I'm looking forward to a sort of great relationship with you guys, and this is something we'd really like to continue on.
Definitely. And Tom, I would love to see you come join us. I know you've got it. This has been a hectic week leading up to Brands Hatch, but we'd love to have you join us in the booth live for a race to, maybe just throw in your 2 cents with your prowess and understanding of racing.
Yeah.
And really, you can because of the cameras we can work with, we can really show you what's going on. And I'd love to really bring you into this world. And hopefully, we've got a nice home for you here with Touring Pro Series.
No, I think that'd be fantastic. I'd love to join in from the start, and give it a few months. I might be racing myself. I'm really quite addicted just seeing it already. So I quite like the look of your V8 series, but I have to wait till next season, I guess.
Yeah, well, Sorry, go on, Scott.
I was going to say, I can already see the chat down below in the broadcast thing is really lighting up, saying yes, they do want to race against Tom Onslow-Cole. I think the fact that's there's a lot of people saying go do it, yes. So I think if you had any doubts as to whether people want you to race with it, you just have the confirmation.
Yeah.
That, yes, we want you to race with us.
I think I might have to do it under a pseudonym though, just in case I don't embarrass myself.
Do a Kimi Raikkonen. Can we have James Hunt or something?
That's it, yeah, my gorilla suit.
well, Tom, you know what? And if you do want to get racing, I'm sure that you could talk with Ash over at GamePod, who is one of the greatest guys we've met. He's made a lot of what we've done and built possible, and we can't thank him enough. GamePod.co.uk. I'm sure he could get you set up, and he would love to see you racing one of the championships he sponsors with one of his rigs. So
that would be fantastic. That would really get me going. Interestingly, it's similar software to what we actually use in the race simulator. So I've spent probably 6 hours this week driving Brands Hatch in a front-wheel drive touring car. So slightly quicker than the Clio, but it is pretty much exactly the same as this. We run rFactor as well for the racing sim. You just can't believe how close these are to the real thing.
Well, that's fantastic, Tom. And so just so everyone knows, make sure you get on his Twitter so you know what everything that's happening with TOC and also the Tom Onslow-Cole Series. It's at Tom Onslow-Cole. Also, we're at Touring Pro. Facebook, you can find us anywhere. Facebook, Tom Onslow-Cole, Touring Pro Series, GamePod.co.uk, all of our sponsors, Inside Sim Racing for the support. We've got Casio, who's involved with Tom Onslow-Cole as well, Miltech. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and this is just the start. So if you're just tuning in and you just happen to catch the end of this, 2 weeks from now, same time. So that's going to sign off for the Tom Onslow-Cole Series. We have coming up in the Touring Pro Series world, the next event is the V8 Supercar Championship. It is starting the first round will be starting this Saturday at 17:15 GMT. You can see on your screen there. The calendar is also listed as well, showing the great lineup of what you can expect. And taming those V8 beasts is not an easy task, and we will have some of the best drivers around the world will be competing in this again. So that's this Saturday coming up. Make sure you tune in. The following event after that will be the following Friday in the virtual mini challenge using the GameStock car simulator. They will be live from Campo Grande, and it will be on Friday at 19:15 GMT. So be sure to tune in for all of these events. You don't want to miss a minute of it, but if you do, you can find us at youtube.com/TouringProSeries. Every broadcast is uploaded immediately when it's done, and then we get them up as quick as we can. And if you have any questions, you can always find us at Facebook, Touring Pro Series. And we wish you all a good night, and thank you, Tom, for joining us here tonight.
I'm Tony Gillam, owner of Team Hard, and this is the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series.